the thing. Okay, we are live. I will try and shoot. Hey, everybody.
Hey.
Oh, hey. Listen.
Wait, what?
I mean, we're live.
Oh, we are.
Yeah. Oh, didn't you see that happen?
No, I didn't see that happen at all.
Oh, well, we are. So, I'm messaging Dzaran. I'm going to tweet out. Which...
Now it looks like I'm trying too hard to pronounce the syllable on my head. I just want it to happen naturally.
Naturally.
I've named it as well. It's Molt Flame.
Molt Flame.
Is it Flame? Yeah, it was Molt Flame.
I mean, you can still mix it up till it actually lands on a Pokemon, right? Like,
Molt Flame. Molt Flame.
This should be...
Why is it named Molt Flame? It's because I've actually noticed that the flame molts as you touch it. So that's the thing. Alright, so we're going to have a special guest today.
Yeah, Dzaran. I'm trying to get him in. Chris is notoriously bad at letting us know how to get guests in. So he's the only one that's ever had to do it. And so that's real. Even then it's confusing.
It's so confusing. Alright.
So we're just trying to get Dzaran in.
So what are we going to be talking about today? We're going to be talking about some news. We're going into some new games that are coming out. We're going to go into banned games because that's part of the news.
Yep, news is banned. Oh man, that is like the news.
I think we'll finally get into some spooky Christmas.
Some spooky Christmas.
Some ghost tales.
I want to leave Pokemon spoilers till next week as well.
Yeah.
And we'll do that really properly. I mean, it depends. I don't know. We didn't talk about it, but it depends.
We're going to do some shout-outs as per usual. Kick it off with shout-outs.
Anyways, listen to this guy. I'm so tired.
First, I'd like to shout-out to Maladai.
Maladai?
Yeah, that's what I named my shiny.
Oh, okay.
I don't know.
Oh, shit.
I've got a shout-out.
You confused the crap out of me. All right.
This happened this morning.
This morning.
It's fresh. It's still fresh. It's
so
like
happy.
within the last hour.
It's a bit dark. Yeah. You should be able to just turn the brightness up for 2 seconds. It's a blue shepherd.
Yeah, blue shepherd. Only 700 eggs as well. That's good. It took me 12 hours. So I'll shout out to a friendly guy named Failstar.
Oh, Failstar.
Yeah.
He just did a channel update.
Yeah.
I haven't seen
that either, but I watched some of his other channel videos, uploads.
Yep.
I watched him playing The Forest. I think I've seen him play it a few times.
Yeah.
Have you seen anything about The Forest?
I know the game. Yeah, it's like survival horror in a forest.
Yeah, Forest, exactly.
I've seen brief.
I think it's
snippets of it. I've seen King play it. I think.
Yeah. Everyone's
even. Yeah, no, it's pretty good.
It's in beta.
Yeah, sure.
Early access and everything, and there's some bugs and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, I don't know, it's pretty fun watching him.
Oh yeah, he's like energetic.
He's energetic, and he cuts his videos together, and it's got heaps of production value to it.
Why were we? And
then I watched him play Don't Starve together with a friend.
Oh yeah, that's out. We should play that.
His friend's name?
Dude, we should play that. But yeah, go on.
His name was like Brendan or something.
Oh, you mean fucking On the Loose?
Is that on the list?
Yeah, it's on the list, dude.
Oh,
Brendan's from On the Loose.
Oh, that's pretty funny.
That's hilarious.
I think like the Failstar was showing him the ropes or something, and like everything that he did was absolutely wrong.
It's like, sort of.
But it was good watch. It was good.
That's sort of like Failstar's personality. I feel like Failstar and what's Failstar's name? That's a good question. I feel like Failstar and Brandon. Oh, no, because that's On the Loose. I don't know why it signed us out. This is a nightmare.
Keep going.
Yeah, you keep going.
Eldritch. I started playing Eldritch as well. Have you heard of Eldritch?
I've seen the title card, actually. I know exactly the videos you're talking about.
It's sort of like
Is it a platformer?
It's like a 3D platformer. I'm gonna say it's sort of like maybe it's like an adventure. I don't know if it's randomly generated or what, but it's got like Minecrafty graphics. That's the first thing that comes to mind when you see it. But it's more of like destructible worlds. You can blow stuff up, and you got
cool.
And you got to just get through the levels.
Wait, I do remember that.
And you've got like magic and you can.
Yeah, I did see something about that.
Yeah.
I have seen a video of it, I think.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, that's great.
And
good job,
moving on to Bendigo.
Bendigo.
He's a good guy.
Bendigo is a good guy.
Yeah, check out Bendigo's videos. Check out Failstars videos. Then check out Bendigo's videos.
Yeah, exactly.
So Bendigo, he was ranting about Alien Isolation.
Oh, yeah.
And his problem with it was the waiting mechanic. Which comes up in a lot of games.
That's like a real hot topic in the modern game design right now. Like it's like the thing we're all talking about is that.
So apparently, like they took in Alien Isolation, they took it to a new level. Where pretty much every 20 minutes, the alien will come through, and you got to find somewhere to hide. So you could be doing something, then you got to hide, because otherwise you get killed.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you got to go out there, and you can't. He was saying like you can't really take in any of the environment because you're always on edge waiting for the alien to come because you know it's going to come really soon.
I mean, yeah, I guess that's a weird trade-off then, right? Like that's that is both. She was playing maintenance, okay. Anyway, yeah, like it's a game built around that mechanic, like, and that's something that you should accept, I guess.
It sort of takes away from the story. He was saying because he wants to be able to read. Like the content, like he was looking at the computer screen and he felt like he couldn't actually stay there and read.
Yeah.
Because as he was reading,
it's forcing you off.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
it's forcing you to rush the game.
It's weird that
take the game.
It's weird the reading and stuff doesn't pause everything because you'd think they'd want you to do that.
Yeah, exactly. But it's sort of you got to take it in your own time. If you want to read, you got to hide straight after the avoid the alien.
Yeah.
And then I watched him playing
a
game called The Groundskeeper.
I don't even know if this is working.
Another horror game. Everyone plays horror games. They're just like the group of people that we're in. They just love horror games.
I mean, I guess.
It's just horror games. It's really like hot topic.
Hot topic. Hot topic. And we have a viewer, and I feel like it must be Dzaran, and we're not working this thing out. Horror games are really popular right now. I think it's because they're in a place where like they're I don't know, they're like better. Like they never really had an era where they were coming out and they were good. I guess it's sort of like film in that way. Like film didn't really get horror movies that were like solid for a long time until like they had some time to work it out, I guess. You know, and like modern horror starts up in the 60s almost, I'd say.
I agree.
Yeah, no, I just think it's like I always relate the climb of games to the climb of film and like the way that it's progressing and stuff because they do have so many things in common. Things like that.
Yes, you got to take advantage of what everyone's into as well.
Well, like if people want to watch horror, and like that's a thing too, right? Like it's like, that's a legitimate channel type. It's not like our channel has kind of like the branding like that, but we do it as time periods or like styles or like feels. I always think, you know, like I said this a lot, but I always think it relates back to nostalgia more than anything. I really, you know, like
I guess that's what games are sort of trying to create these days anyway, is trying to touch on people's nostalgia to try and get them what game they're playing sort of deal.
That's it, exactly.
I think that's why everyone's a bit scared to bring out new franchises and all that sort of stuff, because they're like, oh, we don't know how good it's going to go when there's so much competition already.
Well, yeah, exactly. And I think, we'll talk about that a bit today, for sure. Yeah. Okay, we're in good now.
All right, so anyway, he was playing the Groundskeeper. Bendigo.
Okay, right, Bendigo. What is the Groundskeeper?
It's like a survival horror again.
Okay, yep.
It's sort of like, I'm going to say Enderman, Slenderman.
Slender.
Yeah. Sort of like a Slenderman thing. It's like you go to all these houses and it's like you find tape recordings, sort of like sort of deal, and it tells you where to go. And I don't know, it was humorous though. Like the game, I don't know if it's an older release or if it's just like hasn't had as much funding to put into it.
I mean, it probably like indie, right?
Yeah, but there was like parts like where it was more humorous than horror. Like he was saying, he was pretty scared to begin with, and then he sees the Groundskeeper, who's got Dr. MD. What's his name? Black Crow. MD.
Oh, Dr. Detective Black Crow MD.
Yeah, he's got the crow mask.
Yeah.
The groundskeeper, and he's wearing a suit and he has a crow mask, and he runs through the jungle like in front of the woods in front of you. But it looks like, and he's like, he just looks like he's running to go poop.
It just looks
He's got this weird like clenched.
It's probably meant to be scary, right? Like in some.
It had a pretty cool
amount.
atmosphere, but the dialogue, like the recorded dialogue, just didn't give it any justice, sort of thing. It was sort of like, oh no, I'm so scared.
Yeah,
And
sure.
Sort of like just backwards and forwards between the character you're playing and some of the.
And that could be
other
fun because
characters.
it's like a bit. It's like a horror movie, right?
Yeah,
like a
exactly.
bad horror movie.
And
There's
it's like,
something
it
to
was
that.
kind of like that because the guy was in a well and saying, "What do you mean?" He's like, "You should get me out of the well." Why? And it's like stuff that's like didn't make it. It wasn't
Yeah.
coherent sort of deal. And then like some of his inner dialogue was like just so bizarre. It was good. But like, he touched on it all. Like,
That's great.
Geniusly. He's so witty, and
That's cool.
I don't know, definitely check out his videos.
I should go in and do some better checking.
Yeah.
Because I mean, that's the thing. I mean, like, yeah, they recently. I'll talk about that in my shoutouts actually when you're done. But yeah.
Yeah. So
Anyway.
that's it. So check out Failstar on YouTube. Check out Bendigo on YouTube.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. Done. Okay. So we're in a community now on Google Plus called Watch Us Game, which we started up by BNG. Have you seen this?
No, I haven't seen
Oh, really? Okay. Well.
it.
Oh, okay. Well, I will show you. I might not do it right this second.
The plus now. Is that
We're plussing out with the gang. It's us and the gang, and we're all plussing out like our good old pals. Well, no, like basically, I'm trying to find the thing. Hello, B-boy. I really hope is that coming through. Have we got comment notifications?
Oh, is it back to like?
Yeah, we're gonna this whole thing, dude. I don't.
Alright.
No.
Careful, you're gonna lose the lower third soon.
Oh my god, I will. I so will.
Comment tracker.
Wait, yeah, we're worried about. I still don't get this comments thing because the chat does not work. Anyway, hey B-boy, thank you for your comment and thank you for showing up. It isn't chat. It didn't work for chat, but we got the notification.
It worked one day.
It does. It works. It worked once.
Which is so good.
That was great. No, that was a really good time.
So is it going to be tweet us again? Tweet at us?
You can get at us any way you want. Whatever works for you,
Yeah.
I think is the best way. Because like I just can't fight this every week. I really want chat to be working and stuff. I will be monitoring comments and things like that. So if you want to use the comments, you are welcome to. I'm gonna be there. I'm gonna be flying around it. I'm assuming Dzaran's mad at us and he doesn't want to come and hang out. I'm sure that's not true. I'm just frustrated with this not working. The invites. It was just rough because like I felt really bad already because we didn't give him much information. Or like didn't give him enough
It's
information.
hard though. We're on different sides of the globe.
Yeah, but we could have messaged him and been like, we're going to talk about this.
Oh, like what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, and then been like, we'll start at
I mean,
a regular time.
Yeah.
Look, anyway, this isn't about wallowing around in our mistakes. This is about trying to correct them. And correcting them will involve me going over my shoutouts while I fiddle around furiously with settings.
Like when you're trying to post a tweet that takes like...
That's my life on this podcast. My podcast is like struggling to do simple things. That's my job on the podcast. Inept social media guy. Yeah, no. Shout outs. Big shout out to Dzaran. I wasn't his. This isn't an actual one because he told me to limit it to 2. Shout out to Dzaran because he's not here, and I would like for him.
Yeah, shout out to Dzaran. He's meant to be our guest today. We'll get hold of him, I reckon.
I think we will, but like, I feel. How like neutered do you feel right now in this situation?
Yeah, no. So like, what's going on?
It's like you can't even fight it. Anyway, no. Okay, my shout outs are to this is what I was talking about, the Watch Us Game group on Google Plus. What?
What's
I'm scared.
Getting serious headphone rash.
Oh my god, what kind of a day is it for us today?
I feel it's because it's getting hot. That's what it is.
Yeah, the heat fucking destroys us.
It's happening again.
We need to do this at like midnight. Yeah, essentially.
There it is, the groundskeeper.
The groundskeeper. Yay. Okay, that is one of mine too. This is great. It's great. This is great. This is going so freaking well.
Just shout out. So you're saying watch me game.
Watch us game. It's this huge fucking group, and
we've been.
Sorry for getting excited there, but it's this huge group, and I can tell you probably right now. Jesus Christ, this is a nightmare. This is a freaking nightmare. I wish I had told Dzaran he could just keep streaming because
because he stopped streaming.
Well, he was doing some Hearthstone stuff, and that's where I went and talked to him because apologized to him essentially for being like distant over the evening, and then
It was a big storm, though.
Yeah, there's no excuses, dude. I'm fucked up. I'm fucked up, dude.
Shout outs, do it.
I'm saying, watch this game, this group on Google Plus. It's full of people. But for me, I want to shout out guys like Diamond Deb. I want to shout out Fallen Shogun. I want to shout out Amy Face Gaming. I always have trouble with that. And I know you told me to limit it to 2, but it's been hard this week. But my internet is just not happy today. Amy Face Gaming did a top 5 RetroCast list, and that was really cool. Nice. God. Good. You did it. Big shout outs to B&G Games as well. Yeah, the RPG list was cool because it wasn't just like fun fantasies and like turn-based things. So like I was like, oh, that's like me, where I don't necessarily. I like action RPGs on the Super Nintendo too. And then I sort of was like, I mean, my favorite's probably like Final Fantasy 9 and Mother 3. So left that in the comments, and I left. I watched the video and I left.
I'm not saying us down.
Dude, we can do that. We have that capability. Dude, I love that game. I love Earthbound. I love Mother 3. They're so fucking great as games. Dzaran's not in the chat.
Is that the end of shoutouts?
Oh my god, we're back to bed. What is going on with us?
Man, okay. You guys are okay.
I'm really angry about it.
We were good before.
I know. We were good.
It's like,
this is what we get for not being organized. That's the whole thing.
It's like our supervising producers, the stream status sort of thing. So like, you guys are going okay. Oh, you're bad. You're going good.
If you don't know what we're talking about, we have this thing called stream status when we stream to YouTube. And it basically goes from bad to okay to good.
The way taking it is it's like monitoring our talk sort of thing.
Yeah, it's like it's just like some 40-year-old. Hey, you know what? You're really pulling them heartstrings, but I can't even see it. I can't even understand what you're saying. You're so blurry. Skydive. You're so blurry. Super weird.
Yeah, again, it's like the Anchorman too. How can we make
Still haven't seen it.
How can we make 24-hour news more interesting?
So how can they?
They just
with the bear?
Yeah, exactly. Crazy, crazy stuff.
Oh man. Crazy. I'm sending you more invites, Dzaran. This is the best I know.
Alright, so shout outs.
Amy Face Gaming did that list. Watch this game. B&G Gaming for setting up that group. That's really cool. Quality Dzaran and the other guy and whoever and Flaming Monocle. Like I don't know, people that are being good in the community and like hanging out and like actually conversating as opposed to me who is bad at that. You guys are great.
I'll be back into it now. I've finished 12 hours of Pokemon breeding.
Yeah, I mean, as soon as you get out of that shiny breed, dude, it's like a whole other thing.
Too, I feel like I just want one.
Well, that's it. Like I did one. I got my Trevenant like ages ago, and then I was like, well, I want my Galvantula. So like, and there was enough time in between them that it was like okay.
Exactly, yeah, probably wait.
Like I had like 6 months before I did shiny breeding.
What would I go for?
Well, that's it. You don't have time to like get in the favorite, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You gotta like work it out. More links. Just gonna keep doing it. I feel like Dzaran's just gone to bed and he's like, screw these guys.
Alright, so
I hope that's the case. Yeah, I think so.
Change the lower third. Alright, so we're going to be talking about some news. We'll kick off with some news first. Some gaming news. Some news that's happening out there. Some game news.
Yeah.
That's happening in the world today.
I think news is the next one, then questions discussion come next. So I'm really hoping to get Dzaran in for the question. That's where I'm aiming at right now. Yeah, you wrote that. What?
News. Alright, so
dude,
I'll kick it off.
It's hot, okay.
Yeah, we've got
changing the world.
Today I
so much of it is just typing.
Today's the night.
News.
Here it goes. It's gonna change. Don't stop broadcasting. I saw that mouse going over there.
It's hot.
So the makers of that werewolf one and Monkey Island. They make Monkey Island. They do.
Oh, okay. What werewolf one?
There's a werewolf one too. Werewolf Detectives.
Oh, you mean do you mean fucking the one about the fairy tales?
Yeah, that one. Yeah, fairy tale people.
But I can't even remember.
And Walking Dead. You know what I'm talking about? I'm talking about Telltale Games.
Oh, Telltale. I do know what you're talking about. I didn't know they did Monkey Island.
I'm pretty sure they probably didn't.
No, not at all.
No, they did.
They didn't do
They didn't do LucasArts.
Yeah, dude. It's like George Lucas sitting in a room. He's like, "Dear Kilwin, I'm very upset that you didn't fucking mention my name."
I don't know why I've mixed that up.
That makes sense though. I mean,
maybe
they do.
It's the logo branding.
No, dude, they totally.
I think it's the logo branding kind of similar.
They cross over for sure. Yeah. Same sort of thing. And like Monkey Island is totally Telltale-ish, and I wouldn't be surprised if the new ones were made by Telltale. Yeah. I'm pretty sure they're not, but if they were.
So the news though. There's Game of Thrones. That's out today.
Oh, it's out today.
Yeah.
Oh man, I wish you didn't have to go to work. Today. We would just be streaming that if you didn't have to go to work.
For sure.
Dude.
That's amazing.
Dude,
it's like House Forrester.
House Forrester.
So it's like a new house, and it's like how they're surviving in the whole...
In post-Lannister North or something? Middle
North.
Wait, so you play a different house that has to interact with... Oh, that's cool. I like that.
So the house is sort of like, well, we got it. Like, man, this is heavy shit going on. That's like...
Oh, this is real. Yeah, the house that doesn't want to get involved. Yeah, exactly. Everyone's like, we're going to be the kings. We're going to fucking do it. I'm gonna have sex with all your queens. And then, like, Forrester's like, I don't even want to fucking... This is so shit. Go away, Catelyn. Don't come here. I'm sick of you.
Yeah, so if you don't know who Telltale is, they made The Walking Dead, like, a graphic novel adventure. It's sort of like choose your own adventure style.
Choose your own adventure, interactive storytelling. Oh, that doesn't work.
So now they're making a Game of Thrones one, which is incredible.
That's great.
You play, and if you're into Game of Thrones,
yeah, if you're which let's be serious, who isn't into Game of Thrones right now?
And the trailer, like, I'm pretty sure the trailer would come out ages ago, but they had it was pretty gripping stuff, even though it was just Cersei Lannister, like.
Oh, okay. Oh, I have seen that.
What's her name? Her name's
Cersei. Oh, that's the actress. Yeah. Okay.
I wrote that down. So she's crazy.
She is. She's a really good actress. Yeah, no. Actress. Well, she could be an actor too. You can be whatever you want, kids. Just a question: have you guys enabled chat, like YouTube live chat? If there is a place to enable that.
Well, there is, isn't there? We've done it. We tried it before.
We have done it. Like, I have clicked these buttons. Thanks for the message, B-boy. That is a thing that we have tried. I'm not sure where we would go to do it right now. Actually, it's just weird. But no, like I went through the settings when the chat first. If chat first wasn't working really well. Yeah, enable live chat.
I mean, it's enabled. Should we untick it and tick it again?
Yeah, retick it. Double ticks.
Save changes.
Save changes. Welcome to live settings.
Live settings. Setting cast.
I should have shared the screen. We could have shown that.
Yeah, we could. Sure. Right, here we are, clicking this little clicky box. What are they called?
I guess you'd call it a clicky box. I mean, totally
a check
blank
box.
A checkbox it is, because you put a check in it. For $1 million. What's that, Google? You want me to run your social media?
Yeah.
$1 million job. That's the dream. That's the fucking dream. Google social media would be so easy.
So yes, Game of Thrones Telltale comes out
That's amazing.
today. I think only on PS3 today.
What?
PS4. PlayStation in general.
Like
after that,
what?
and the others. Maybe all of them.
No, that's crazy. I'm going to Steam right now, people.
They were only sort of
I'm going to check it for you guys.
PS4.
I'm checking it just for you people.
Good.
And I'm going to find out the answer.
So that was like the main bit of news that really got me hyped.
Oh, dude, I bought... I mean, it's not news. I bought a game that I'm loving.
You bought a game?
I bought a game, and I'm really...
Oh, I know what we could go into.
Smash
Bros. We both got Smash Bros.
Yeah, Smash news. Okay, well, what was the other thing I wanted to talk about that we were talking about? I was going to segue into something lighter from the banned games news. I was going to be like, you know what isn't banned?
You should do that anyway. Let's just pretend that never happened.
Okay, sorry.
So we got banned games. GTA.
Yeah, let's talk
likes
banned
banning
games.
Well,
Well,
I love it.
I mean, I don't know if we like it. I know there's certain people that definitely are like way into it.
No, but like in general, we don't like it. But the people who ban games, they like to be banning games.
Yeah, it's it. If you don't like, if you feel like video games are a bad thing already, then you're not. Then it's like, yeah, you sort of aren't gonna like the games that are coming out. That's for darn sure. Yeah, it's out right now on Steam, $30.
I like to wait though. Like the same deal with I had the option to get it and play it episode by episode, but I like to really just like wait till
do the whole thing. Well, it's like
yeah,
and that's like with the season too. Like you want to just get the DVD and watch the whole thing because like it's fucking cliffhangers, like end of season cliffhangers, and deal with it. Every other cliffhanger can't handle. Just it's too real.
Way too real.
Can you hear me? $30. Total Biscuit has said only worthwhile if you're familiar with Game of Thrones season 3 onwards. So that's just a little thing that you should know. Which book is season 3?
Season 3 is book 2.
Is it book 2?
Yeah.
Hey, Dzaran!
Book 2. Dzaran?
Can you hear me?
Dzaran?
Hello?
Hey, it's changing.
Is this thing working?
Something's happening.
Oh
What?
God, is this working?
Can you hear voice now?
No, hey,
Oh God.
I can see voice. Oh God.
Oh man, hang on.
Oh, what's happening?
Oh,
How do I
well,
use this thing?
Hello?
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 I feel
Hello?
like
Your headphones plugged in?
Oh man.
We're in.
Ah, there it is!
It's
I
here.
Wait,
found
can you hear me?
Yeah.
How long have you been
Hello.
there? Holy crap.
Not that long. Not that long
Okay.
actually.
Okay, thank you.
Welcome,
At least
Dzaran.
Welcome, Dzaran!
Oh
my
my
God. Okay, can you tell us how guests get into this? Because Chris is terrible at it.
No, it was an email.
Okay,
I
cool.
managed to get it eventually. It was just, it's been a weird day with internet today.
Oh, us too, yeah. It's been hot, and our stream keeps telling us we're bad, so we feel bad.
In my case, Twitch was just being really weird and wonky.
Okay, well at least we're there now. We made it, guys. Welcome, Dzaran.
Eventually.
Eventually, exactly.
Oh.
Welcome.
God.
Thanks so much for joining us, Dzaran. We're just about to dig into.
Bad stuff.
Yeah, we're talking about illegal banned games in Australia.
Okay. I
yeah.
know. Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I feel like I put my foot in my mouth a bit in the group when we were talking about this because it came up in Watch This Game.
Yeah.
There was a few Australians in there that were like talking about Target banning GTA and taking GTA off their shelves.
But every GTA gets banned in Australia to begin with.
Does it?
Yep, GTA 3 is being banned, Vice City is being
Really?
banned, San Andreas is being banned, GTA 4 is banned, and now GTA 5.
That's hilarious. I didn't know that.
Is or were?
Like, were. So
Were.
then, like, they've got to redo it and then, like,
Resubmit it.
Yeah, exactly, resubmit it for
Wow.
ratings.
I didn't know that. That's amazing.
And it's always to do with, like, drug incentives towards completing missions or
Right.
sex incentives towards
Right.
completing missions. They hate it. So,
Yeah, drugs and sex heal
But-
you.
Yeah.
What were you saying?
Well, I mean, the difference here isn't it that in this case it wasn't because of like it couldn't get the rating or anything. In this case, it was a petition.
Yeah, exactly. It was from, I believe, women. Well, no, it's women within the sex industry.
Oh, really?
Because they, the claim is that it's total pandering. I feel like it's kind of like really propaganda-ish the way they presented it. Because I mean, they might not know any better. I'm gonna give them the benefit of the doubt. I'm gonna say, I don't think the people that made the petition
have ever played it.
Yeah, exactly. They don't play games. They don't know any better. We have to forgive the ignorant in these senses because we know about it. They don't. I don't know. Anyway.
I think that's why GTA 3 was banned when it first came out, though, as well. Let's have a look.
Yeah.
It's
a petition?
Due to sexual violence involving prostitutes.
Right, yeah. So that is the issue. That's the other thing. It's not. There's no sexual violence in the game. Like that's something that they take from what you can do. It's equal opportunity massacre, right? Like you can kill anyone.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. You can kill just anyone in the game. It doesn't matter who they are, what race, what gender.
Yeah.
You can kill anyone.
It's equal opportunity, and if that's the way you want to act, there are repercussions. The cops will hunt you down, and it will lead to you dying, losing money, whatever it is.
So you're upset with the premise of GTA in general, really?
I haven't actually played GTA 5, but I have heard in this case that it might be even worse when you're killing civilians or a prostitute like in view, because I think it's even worse than it used to be for getting the cops on you.
Because it's first person, or just
what I think it means worse is in like the downsides of worse.
Well,
right?
what I mean is if it's like the previous GTAs, like I haven't played 5, but the previous GTAs for the cops had a star system. So after you reached so many stars, you know, the cops would be after you. And the more stars you had, the worse they'd be trying to get you.
Yeah.
In the older ones, I'm pretty sure it got you less stars than it does now.
Yeah,
I think now if you kill a civilian, or I should say just a person in public, it gets you automatically 3 stars.
Right. Yeah, oh yeah, that's
There's like less stars in GTA 5 anyway. It only goes up to 5 instead of the 6 that it used to.
Oh really?
Yeah.
Oh
my god, there's so many.
I thought it actually used to go up to 5, but okay.
Does it?
I think I went to 6 in the old ones because 5 was Army. Yeah. I don't know. I'd have to go back and play those. That's something.
San Andreas
I don't know.
Because you can only have 5 stars until you unlock.
Yeah, well, I definitely know what you mean there, because it might have been 5 stars was max for the police, and then 6th would be the military getting involved.
Yeah, exactly. Those tanks showing up. I think you get a tank out at 5 if you really were onto it, like massacring
really
that is. Yeah, if you were really like putting your all into mowing down civilians. I
don't know. GTA 5, I finished it. It felt kind of the same though. Like it.
Oh, so you've played through it?
Yeah, I played through it. I don't know. I didn't have.
Well, so
effect on me. Like I didn't step back and was like, oh wait, this is more intense, killing civilians and stuff.
Well, the Change.org petition, basically, the headline picture, like the big picture at the top of the page, is a woman with like an axe wound through her boob, like laying on the ground, and they say like this is a prostitute that you can kill in the game, and that's just the addition of first-person mode.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I totally get that. Like that's shocking to see, but at the same time. Well, yeah, exactly. It only came out with this PC version, so the game's been out for a year, and then they're like, "Hold on a second, there's something wrong here. We don't like this first-person business. We don't like that it's like because that does make it so much more real. That's true. That's fair to say.
Yeah.
You know, like it is more immersive, but at the same time,
putting the person like first person is saying that you were the character now.
Well, exactly.
Whereas when it was third person drawn back, it's saying that you're
exactly. So
observing this character. So it is. I guess there
was a disconnect. I mean, but to me that does the complete opposite of what they're saying. So for me, when I sit down and I'm in first person mode and I've got an axe, I don't want to go on a big public massacre.
I guess it makes
that's
you
too
feel
confronting
more conscious
for me.
of what you're doing. Exactly.
Yeah,
it's sort of up to the person and
and that's an adult reaction. I feel that's a pretty logical adult reaction to be like kind of like. Oh, I don't want to act like that. I don't want to do those things because the first person's too violent or whatever. So you don't do them.
Yeah. Well, I mean, because the first person brings you into it more, that's why you're thinking that way. I mean, you could say that.
No, for sure. It's just more immersive.
because, well, yeah, I mean, because it is more in your face, you know, it's more, you're almost living it, that you really are more affected by not wanting to do it, like that kind of thing.
Well, exactly, and it's so much more. The moral choice is there. Like before, it was just like knocking down pins that were walking down the street. You know, like you would just point and click, point and click, point and click. But now it's like there's a bit more of a human interaction there. And you know, like
I guess it's like an empathy sort of thing. It brings in a bit more empathy into the whole.
Well, that's it. That's exactly. And then that's part of the game. Yeah.
I'm assuming you guys are aware that there's actually a counter petition now.
Yeah, well, I've signed it.
Okay.
I got an email. Did I send that to you yet?
No.
Okay, well I'll send that over. I think I tried to message it to the group. But yeah, like essentially, I signed it. I was a bit put off because at the end of that, there's like you can pay some money to like support this petition. And I was like, well, it's just like emailing enough to JB Hi-Fi and stuff. But either way, I was like on board for doing the right thing here and like representing that. I just feel like we can come across really heavy-handed, you know, like we can come across like we're arguing the kind of the wrong points almost, and being like, no, we want this thing, and it's like, and we need to be talking about the artistic integrity of it, and I just feel like a lot of people are letting their frustration with the situation get in the way a bit.
What about like just redefining the rating system though?
But we have that, right? We have our 18.
Yeah,
we just got given it, and then. Yeah, I agree.
If there is like stuff, maybe they should just go into it. Maybe say like 21.
Well, that's it.
Well, that's where a lot of people's problems are coming in with the fact that you got the rating system. I mean, if I remember right, like I've heard a few people talking about how it was hard for you guys to actually get the rating system put in down there properly, right?
Yeah, it was really difficult. We had people in our censorship boards that were just blocking it and just wouldn't, and were like, no, games are for kids, so you don't deserve to have any way to keep kids away from them. Like, it was super like, yeah.
So I mean, like, you guys fought to get that rating system.
Well, yeah, it was public opinion. It was us.
And now you can't even now it's not even doing anything.
Well, that's it. I mean, we got.
And it's not imposed. It's not. What's the word? Yeah, imposed. It's not. People don't say to their kids, no, you can't watch it.
Well, that's it.
Sure, you can get an R18 movie.
Yeah, that's
sure,
it.
You can play an R18.
But they wouldn't do it with a movie, right?
Yeah,
like a parent wouldn't be like, R18 on a movie? That's probably got like a rate. You ain't seeing that. Like, and then like they're like,
I'd rather you play this game than have you playing through the rate.
Yeah, exactly. Because you'll understand it. Like,
yeah.
GTA and Call of Duty, they're really popular with kids. They're advertised in the toy sections of catalogs, like next to like Peppa Pig and like kids' toys.
Yeah, that's.
Yeah, so there's a huge conflict of interest, and it's about
weird.
It is. It's really weird, and like seeing that like GTA 5 with like the R18 thing across it next to a Peppa Pig doll. And you're just like, what are we doing?
I mean, it's still subjecting.
Target was asking for this.
Yeah, it's still subjecting the kids to the marketing anyway.
Exactly, and being like the hardest game this season and stuff, and it's like, that game is not for kids. Like, you just can't, and there's no way that, it should be, like in this situation, I don't think GTA should suffer for this. I think Target is the one that's accountable for putting it in that advertising and putting it in that space, and I totally understand how GTA a group latched onto that. That's it. Like Rockstar's been doing this for so long. Like since PS1, we've had games about running civilians down.
I'll go through so they banned Grand Theft Auto 3 because of sexual violence involving prostitutes, and then it was reinstated.
Yeah. And
they banned San Andreas for the hot coffee controversy, which was. Did you remember that?
That was the sex scene, right?
Yeah, it was like a interactive sex scene. So you actually, if you had what are they called? You had it on PC, and then you had like empty code sort of deal, Game Shark sort of thing. You could unlock the hot coffee mod, where you'd like actually have to go square circle X, square circle X.
Oh my god, that's amazing!
And that hit the news. Do you remember?
I didn't know it was interactive.
And like all the parents like just grabbed the game off the kids, and it's like, you can't play this. It's like, but I can't do that.
Yeah,
anyway.
I didn't even have a sex scene, Dad.
I don't have Game Shark on my.
Here's your sex QuickTime event.
Yeah, exactly. Enjoy teaching my kids.
In the actual game, it was like a hidden content sort of
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
So when you were playing
through
it, and they had you want to come up with some want to come up for some hot coffee, it just zoomed out. So
exactly, and then like
apart.
there was a joke there, like that's the thing too, right? Like there's a really big sense of humor in Rockstar's games.
Yeah.
Like they have a really good, solid sense of humor with the way they add those little like sub notes in, like maybe an interactive sex scene, which would have been hilarious if you came across it, right?
Yeah. But you could only have come across it if you could enter.
But imagine if we had R18 and they just left it in as like as a joke.
Yeah.
Thing,
I mean, they have it in God of War.
Yeah, God of War. Oh, that is a hilarious scene too. Like when you play that, like you can't take it seriously.
All of the God of Wars, like in the first one, you had like a bed of prostitutes. And you go there and you just like and then they spew out coins.
Yeah, the first one, it was just like the bed thumping, wasn't it? Like
yeah. And the candle next to it. I remember seeing the bedside table and just everything like. I was like, I'm doing the ladies so well.
But it was funny though.
Yeah,
even though I was a kid, even though I was younger, it was like, well, this.
Well, yeah, you understand it, and you've like seen a movie.
This guy's a badass anyway.
This guy's that's it. It's this whole character. I mean, I have seen that. That's like a whole other can of worms when you talk about like feminism and female representations in games, because like objectifying them and making them money and making them points, which I get, but like in that context, I think that's funny, like right, like it's making fun of
the game's
sex scenes, it's making fun of quick time events, and like Kratos himself is like an objectified man, like he is like just the buffest, like I am the best at everything. God of
War. The fact like when you play a mission and stuff, it's an object anyway. It's like all the characters.
That's it.
A video game is an object in itself, just because it represents.
Honestly, I feel like we're cool guys. I think that's the problem. We're like pretty chill about stuff, and we're not trying to preach at people and things. And then like, so for us to weigh in on this kind of stuff, it's very hard for us to be like, God damn it, this thing. Like, I don't know. How do you feel?
No, I agree with you there. I mean, in all honesty, like I'm trying to think of the right way to put this. I think most people are just getting too worked up on it, and it's because they don't even actually play it. So
exactly,
why are you even caring about what someone else does?
Well, that's it, and that's about imposing your morals on someone, and like. And the first line of defense is to take it away from everyone. Like
I think today everyone just wants to fight. Like, they just want to fight something, sort of thing, and try and
that's
see what their views. But it's like everyone's got.
It's fine.
Multiple views.
Like the thing is, it's fine if they have concerns like about like children playing this or kids playing it. I mean, that's fine.
But that's up to the parent who actually has the child. They're meant to say, you can't play that game.
No,
exactly. I mean, that's the problem. It's all the burden is on the parents, not anyone else.
Yeah, and the worst part of that is that parents sit around saying like, oh, well, they're going to see it at their friend's house, and I'm like, why aren't your friends' parents doing the same shit? Like, if you're all worried about it.
Phone call and like chat to the other parents.
You can set up parental locks on your systems. All consoles come with parental controls.
They have to.
Yeah, so if you're savvy and you know what you're doing, you can play test it first to find out if it's good enough for your kid, and then you can also stop them playing things they shouldn't be legally allowed to play anyway, and it's on target for selling GTA to fucking parents. Like these 40-year-old mums and grandmas that are coming in looking for the GTAs, and they're not like, and then they're like, the guy at the counter's not like, hey, look, this is R18. Are you sure you want to give this to your kid? He might be a bit pissed off I told you this, but.
This is a good point actually. That happened to me. Someone came into the shop and they're going, oh, my kid wants to watch Hunger Games, but I won't let them.
Yeah.
I don't want them to read the book.
Yeah.
So I would rather they read Game of Thrones.
Oh my god!
What? And I said, how old is your kid?
Wait.
Oh, he's just 13. And I'm like, you don't want him watching Hunger Games, but you want him to read a book that's like got graphic rape. And I'm saying, and she's like, oh, yeah, well, it's my decision. And I said, but you just told me to get Hunger Games is too much for your kid and you don't want them to
it's exactly. You've made the setup, and then you've decided what gets to be art.
Yeah.
It's like, it's not right.
I don't know, it's like parents that are just oblivious sort of thing. They actually don't take the time to...
That's so funny.
I can't
believe that.
I don't get it. And she's like, oh, I've seen the TV show, like, it's got some nudity, and it's like, the book is not the TV show. Have you seen the episode of South Park where it's like...
Oh, yeah.
I can't remember when they changed the song.
Yeah, like dicks, floppy wieners, floppy wieners. Yeah, that's right. It is all about wieners.
And like, I was taken aback by when I was reading the book between Drago and Daenerys.
Yeah.
There was like a part in the book, and I was like, holy shit, this is really heavy. She's like a kid.
Yeah.
And this is like just graphic.
Yeah, yeah. Well, that was it, right? Like, and that's, I mean, that relates back to the War of the Roses stuff, all historical references. You were a Game of Throneser, Dzaran?
No, not a big fan. No.
Okay.
I haven't really gotten into it. Like I've seen it a little bit, but
it's like, mate, it's like
I hear that too.
You have to get.
You have to get
it.
You have to. You will love this.
No, I'm not saying you have to get into it.
No, yeah.
To actually like Game of Thrones, I think you have to.
You have to get into it to appreciate it.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's abrasive as well. Like that world is full of dirty characters and stuff.
Oh
like,
yeah, I've heard a few things.
I don't want to spoil these now. B-Boy has commented, I was laughing so hard when I read about GTA 5 and Target. Haha. I mean, that's right. That's the reaction.
Yeah.
It's not like it's going from every shop. And, like, I get that Target might have good prices and stuff, but, like, it is almost like a funny thing. And we can look at it objectively. The game's been out for a year. You probably played it if you're going to play it. So, like, it's not like we're losing something, like, inherently. Yeah. And Steam will still have it and stuff, right? Like, that's not going to be a problem.
Well, yeah, that can't be dealt with. But, I mean, they're not pulling it from Steam.
Yeah, exactly. And they have no control there. And I'm sure Steam would be like, hold on, we're a platform for games. We don't let accounts registered to people under 18 go to, like, under 18 games even show up to them. I'm pretty confident.
Yeah, you do have to enter an age verification.
Well, exactly. And if you're doing your job right, then your kids will have the correct parental age lock on their Steam account and their consoles. I was talking to my girlfriend about it, and I was just sort of saying, like, it's Nintendo, right? Like, get them a Wii. Like, if you want to avoid this altogether, just get them something, like, get them a Nintendo console or a 3DS until they're about 15, 16, and then give them a PlayStation. And you won't even have to think about it.
I could see that. I could genuinely see that.
Yeah.
I found a game that was banned on Nintendo.
Game banned on Nintendo?
It's called Sexy Poker.
Sexy?
Wait, what?
They made a game called Sexy Poker that's banned in Australia.
It's a WiiWare game.
Okay.
It was banned due to, like,
sexy.
It was strip poker sort of thing. So, like, as you played the game of poker, the person would get more money.
Yeah.
It's like Nintendo just, like, jumped on that, like, no, you've got to get rid of it. It was refused classification.
Wait, doesn't it? Did it get an M rating later on?
Yeah, and then it got an M rating.
And then it came out later with an M. An M? Not even like an R or anything? It's got all this nudity that they're worried about?
Left 4 Dead 2?
Yeah, Left 4 Dead 2 is still not out in Australia. I mean, you can play it,
but
what? It's the reduced gore version. Well, Left 4 Dead 2 was banned because of it was cited as violence against authority. So, like, when the cops in riot gear and stuff come out, and then you shoot them in the face.
Yeah.
So they were saying, like, that's not okay. Like, you can't have that kind of thing. And, like, all the bodies
you're gonna incite riots and
yeah, exactly. Everyone's gonna go out on the street and give it a go. You know?
Why do people keep thinking
for people who would be involved in that sort of thing instead of actually doing it? They play the game instead.
Exactly. Play the game for 10 minutes. You know. What were you saying?
All I was gonna say is just why do people keep thinking that? Oh, I'm gonna do this in the game. It's like, oh my god, I need to go out and do this for real now to try it.
Well, that relates back to, like, Columbine almost, right? Like, that was something they were saying when Columbine happened. They were like, oh, this is to do with Quake or something, or like Doom, or one of the game, or whatever game was out at that point. Yeah, and that was a super weird thing too. Where, like, and it was like, it's always about. I mean, and that's an interesting thing in history where it's books are the things that are inciting this fantasy thought process that lets you be violent or whatever it is. Then it's movies. And then it's and then games come along and it's like, these fucking games, kids are really violent. These games must be the problem. And it's like, no, kids just don't have a moral compass. They don't have a sense of ethics. They're like going to jump at those things. If you want to learn about that, go read Ender's Game. Ender's Game has a really good commentary on kids and their place in violence and their place in war and stuff, and and that lack of filter and things like that. Because, like, I don't know.
Got caught.
Yeah, unfortunately. That's the whole thing. But Ender's Game is still good art.
Yeah.
Even though it's written by a hateful man.
Fallout 3, that was banned.
I could see that. That
But do you know
game's-
why?
I don't know why. Do tell me.
It's because they had used the term morphine
Oh, okay.
as your medicine,
Yeah,
and then
right.
the way they got it through was to change morphine to Med-X.
Med-X. I feel like, to me, that seems more sketchy.
So-
I
like,
guess it's scared that they're like subliminally messaging, like getting in our brains and putting all these
make
things.
kids drug addicts.
Yeah.
So I mean, you're saying that one got banned for a drug reference?
Yeah.
Oh,
For
geez.
saying that morphine is actually a painkiller.
I mean, if I'm remembering up here, like drug and alcohol reference, I think that makes it maybe teen.
Really?
I think so.
We'll get an MA for that, which is 15
plus.
Yeah, 15 plus with parental guidance or whatever.
Yeah.
I mean, normally an M up here needs to be really violent.
Yeah,
pretty like graphically violent too.
Okay, so that's the difference between our rating systems. You've got T for teen, and then it goes to M for mature after that,
Yes.
which is our MA. I'm assuming, right? That's so much better. That's so much
No, I
better.
mean, I would say like M up here is also would be like implied sexuality or sexual situations, like
Okay.
not necessarily like anything blatant, but it's implied.
It's in there. I mean, yeah, and you got to be careful because as soon as it's interactive.
Like I mean,
gets
just an example like for that, like do you know the Atlas game Catherine?
Yeah. About you're having dreams. It's
Yep.
you have the guilty subconscious because of the relationship with these two women, right?
Right,
Something.
and there's something else weird going on because of like
Yeah, demons.
stuff. But yeah, that's an M up here.
Right. So yeah, that would be a hard MA at the least for us. I think it might have
Yeah.
even copped an R because it was
And I
sexy.
mean, well, yeah, I mean, in that case, it's obviously not so much violence because that was a puzzle game mainly.
Well, exactly. I mean, violence to his subconscious and his psyche. That dude got embarrassed a lot.
Well,
This game I just found
running around
is
his underwear wasn't that the point? He's like so vulnerable. I don't know.
yeah, he was in
that's
his
like
like boxers with a sheep head and
That's a really good game actually. I should play
a
that.
partial sheep head.
Partial stupid, yeah. Oh my god, I can imagine if he was like a minotaur but he just had a sheep's head. Anyway.
I think all he had were the horns and curly hair.
yeah, that's right. It was cute. It was like a little afro, and he was. Anyway, yeah. Catherine, that game.
Yeah,
I
I might do it at some point.
Oh my god, if you do it, that'd be amazing. I'd love to watch it through.
Well, it is kind of horror-ish, so.
Yeah, it's about a succubus. It's like got a demon in it, right?
Yeah, I mean, it does maintain those themes, so I might.
Yeah. Thanks so much, B-Boy, for showing up as well and being in the chat. Dzaran, apparently your logo takes up the screen when you talk, which is pretty neat.
Okay.
That's cool.
I think
wasn't
that's
sure.
normally how this works, so yeah.
Yeah. It was coming up black for us, so I wasn't sure what you were coming across as. I'm glad it has a picture. Yeah, our live chat is turned on, dude. We're getting notifications where we are, so thanks heaps for sticking around, B-Boy. Anyway, so yeah. I mean, yeah, we get a lot of banned games here. It's super annoying that Left 4 Dead didn't get reclassified when the R18 came out because we still don't have those ragdolls and all that stuff. It's not necessary to play the game, but it is sort of, it's frustrating, I guess, as an adult.
Yeah. I mean, it's altering the game from what it was supposed to be.
Exactly, and it makes it harder to see things. Like, it affects how well you can play the game because, like, if the special zombies, like the smokers and things, are on fire, they don't show up on fire, and they don't show that burning animation for them.
Oh, okay, I get you.
Yeah, so it's like you actually have less information to play the game. So it's kind of like I feel like that's where it's wrong, and that's the problem.
That would make it a lot more difficult.
Yeah. it's just this long line of things, and it's totally fair. Like, I'm not saying anyone who's offended can't be offended, because that's like in the same vein that I have the right to say, no, this is art and we should like have this and it's not a big problem. They can say this is a problem and there's these issues, because you know, I'm not the group, and I'm not the people that it would be affecting, I guess. But at the same time, it is R18. It is for kids. It isn't for kids. Don't listen to me. Don't listen to me. It's for little children. No, like it's
Edit, cut it out.
Yeah, that's it. Big red button. No, but like, yeah, it's got an R18 rating. You just gotta look at it. You just gotta be a parent about it and like face the fact that you're probably going to disappoint your kid a bit, because that's like life. That's what it is. I've definitely had that interaction with my parents over the years, you know, where like they were like, "No, that's violent," and I was like, "Well, fuck you," you know, because kids aren't. I mean, they're not ready to.
Yeah. They just need to have like conversations.
Exactly. If you
and explain it to the kid.
Exactly, and it's about presenting it logically. And it's about presenting ethics to your child. And about presenting morals to your child. It's possible. Yeah.
I like the suggestion you have. I mean, up until a certain point, bring them up on Nintendo.
Well, that's it. Like that's what I had, and then like I've stuck with Nintendo. Like that was what happened to me.
Yeah.
I got locked in there. And you know, I'm not to. I don't want to rip on Call of Duty, because I do think Call of Duty is a good game, and I do like what Call of Duty does. But like, let's be real for a second. The Doritos Mountain Dew crossover promotion with Call of Duty was super weird, and it was like dictating to a different audience and a different group of people than I think we have here on YouTube and that we have in this community. Oh my god, that was insane.
The old Dorito Pope.
But like, unlock guns in Call of Duty if you eat enough Doritos. Like that is like, it's a parody of itself. Like it's like it's gotten to a point where
ridiculous.
They listened to all the jokes we made about Dorito and Mountain Dew, and then they were like, you know what? That's a good idea. I like that a lot. And there's a Doritos stuffed crust at Pizza Hut now.
Really?
Yeah, that's not anything to do with anything. Like,
really.
Is that actually down there, that Dorito flavored Mountain Dew?
Oh no, we haven't seen that yet. Oh my god! I saw the product testing response to it or something.
I don't like Mountain Dew to begin with.
Like now it tastes like corn chips.
Is it supposed to be good, or?
I mean, it.
Is it the rebranding of Mountain Dew? Because Mountain Dew, and it's like, well, we'll just put Doritos.
Well, the people that like Mountain Dew aren't us. I think that's the thing.
I had a 7-Up. That was real weird.
I used to drink 7-Up at school. It was bad. It's not good. Parenting. Look, parents, don't give them junk food. Don't give them the scary game. I mean, I guess that's simple for us to say too. I mean, if I was gonna make that joke very real for a second, but you know, I know that we have some parents in the community, and like, I feel like they're gonna be better at this than the people that are trying to ban the games and stuff. Like they're gonna be on top of it, and they're gonna know what to do because they play the games and they know what's good for kids and stuff. Like for their kids.
When I was brought up, like, well, my family, they looked at video games as being like kids. They like much didn't look at ratings or anything. They didn't take any of that into consideration.
It was a toy.
Yeah. And they sort of looked at our Kieran's just playing his games again.
Yeah,
sure, you can play this game.
Kieran. My parents.
I think that I would have enjoyed it if they got a little bit more involved. Like if they were involved in my game sort of thing, and like going, look, what are you playing now? I'd be like, oh, this, and they actually talk to me sort of thing.
Like
I would have been fine if they said, well, you can't play this yet until you're a bit older.
Exactly, because you would have accepted that they understood it, right?
Yeah.
Like, yeah.
Because I knew that, like, well, I really shouldn't be playing this, but they don't know that, so I'm just going to
and it's like fun and like naughty and like, I'm playing GTA.
Yeah.
Look, I just killed a prostitute, Bob, and then they're like, what the fuck? And I'm like, it's hilarious. No, I mean, and you know, I used to play GTA 3 and GTA Vice City at a friend's place, you know, and that was like where I would play it because I didn't have a PlayStation 2 or anything. Because like I said, I was on Nintendo consoles solidly till I was about at least 13 or something, and then I got my first PS1, and it wasn't like that was like giving me adult games either. Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, I'd say it's about the same for me. I mean, for me it was mainly Nintendo, like Super Nintendo up until about probably 14 or 15, easily.
Yeah, exactly.
And then a PS1 from there, right?
Yeah, that's it.
Although,
and, you know,
I mean, to be honest, I don't think they did ever check the games up here either. My parents.
Exactly.
Because,
that's
I mean, like when I got the PS1, the very first game I got with it was Parasite Eve. At like 15, and I was like, oh, what's this? This looks interesting.
That's fantastic. That's so good. I love that.
Oh,
I mean,
look at that dog's head split apart. And,
yeah. And you gained a very strong respect for violence ever since.
A very strong respect for horror.
Yeah, well, there you go. That's it. Like, and well, that's crazy that that's like how that works out. Yeah, I think that's interesting. Because I don't know. I've always said, I haven't always said. I've always heard people say like the first Final Fantasy you play is your jam. Like that's your Final Fantasy that you're gonna like. But like I feel like that works for genres too. So like the first genre that you get into and that you really like gravitate to is gonna be the thing that defines you as how you play games. Like whether you're exploratory or whether you're more story-driven, like those kinds of things, achievement-driven, stuff like that.
Yeah, I'd agree with you. I'd say it's when you hit around that age, around like the 14, 15, where you finally really decide on something that you enjoy a bit more. Because before that, I mean, you're honestly playing anything they give you.
Exactly. Yeah, you're getting everything you can, and it's just, I mean, that's a good way to be too. I think that's like it's all about defining yourself as like a consumer of this medium, right? Like it's like about finding that your place in it and finding out like where you sit, what you like.
I like to be a consumer of Pokemon.
Well, that's it. Like Pokemon is what I keep coming back to, and like oh my god, dude,
you're both a hell of a lot further than me. I'll say that.
I just spent 12 hours hatching a shiny Shuppet.
Yeah, carrying a shiny Shuppet. I'm checking my game time now. But yeah, go on.
I'm not at that point.
I hit 115 hours last night.
I'm at 100.
104.
Hold on.
No, that's ridiculous. I can't. No, I was in another Skype call with some guys from uni, some film people, and like I was playing Pokemon, and like one of them had Pokemon, and he's like, oh, let's battle, and then like so we battled, but my hours came up when we go to battle or something, like you can check them somehow.
You can check them, yeah.
And so he just read them out loud, and he was like, what the fuck, dude? This came out like 3 weeks ago. And I was just like,
it's like it's consuming my life.
Yeah, like people, when people that aren't gamers find out you play Pokemon that much, it's like, what the fuck do you do? Like, and it's like, there's been nights where I've like fallen asleep with it, so I feel like that's added up a few.
Yeah, I mean, breeding,
but that's just me making
really
excuses.
Fully involved in
Exactly.
You just sort of like, you put a coin, like I wedge a coin in the joystick, and then
that still makes me uncomfortable.
I'm cool with it. I can respect that a bit.
Well, that's it. Like, and I know people that put.
I checked mine there, 19 hours.
Oh wow. Yep. All right. I have a problem.
It's like I'm not even past the 4th gym yet.
Oh, that's. I can appreciate that. It's every Pokemon game I finish now. When I finish it, I'm like, and it's been like 3 days or something, or 2 days. I'm like, one, if I had been able to record that, I would have been productive these few days. And 2, I wish I hadn't smashed through that, and I wish I had talked to more NPCs, and I wish I had done more stuff.
I actually really enjoyed.
I loved it.
Nuzlocking it.
Nuzlocking was a good idea. That was a really fun idea, and like it was fun doing that race, kind of like with each other and like competing with each other, and that was cool for us. And like I wouldn't change my experience with it, but the fact is like I get to the end and I'm like I could have spent more time in that because now I have to fly back to those towns to talk to NPCs and do the side quests and stuff, which is fine. It's just it's not the nostalgic experience I remember as a kid of wandering around circles.
Away from it though. It's just like one instantly there. It's just like a teleport.
Flying.
When you're walking around, getting all these
exactly.
Well,
that's it. It's just about experiencing the progression of the story. Yeah.
Well, no, I was going to say on top of that, I mean, if you want to be completely honest, Pokemon completely changed once they introduced Super Training.
Oh, yeah. Like, that locked it in for me. Like, that was, like, my moment of being like, oh, I can play competitive. Like, I can do this
It's never
stuff.
the same since then.
I mean, I never played
when
it, so
Super Training
I was
came out.
blown away by Super Training when I first did. I was like,
Yeah, no,
whoa.
for sure. I mean, I remember the first time I found Super Training in X and Y, and I was just, it blew me away too. Like, it solidified my place in competitive for sure. Like, it was like, I can do that. I can be bothered to do that.
Yeah.
And like,
Well, I mean,
I was
who
hanging
wouldn't?
out with them. Well, yeah, exactly. Like, it's just, it's not hidden anymore. And
Yeah.
they're like trying to make it.
It's only a short mini game too, right? So.
Yeah, exactly. It's like you can get it down to like 10 seconds. I'm sure I've done it in
Right.
that 5.
Yeah.
Yeah, like,
With a decently leveled guy, yeah, I can do it like 10, 15 seconds in a
yeah,
thing.
exactly. Which is great. I mean, like, I like it a lot. I get really bad hand cramps if I do too many Pokemon in a row. Obviously.
Yeah, I hear you there.
Like that's the real thing. So I'm happy to be at a place where I'm at now, where I've got Pokemon set up.
Yeah, I've got to do that for everyone.
But, I mean, that was probably
Yeah,
just the smartest
that's
thing
it.
they've done with it since that was one of the smartest things they've done.
Well, that's it. Adding accessibility to it, and making it.
Well,
What
I
I
mean,
think
who wouldn't
now,
make
right?
that choice? Like, I can
Yeah.
play this little mini game, or I can go and fight, I don't know, a few hundred Geodudes or something.
Well, that's it. Like, and I was hanging out with Pezza and Bodhi on the weekend a little bit, and they were like, oh, dude, here, take this Pokemon Pokerus so that you can get extra IVs, like extra EVs when you do your horde battles and stuff, and like you just do horde battles. It's like the best way to do it. It's obviously the best way. And I was just like, and they were like, and you know, they were explaining the numbers and like selling it to me and stuff, but I was like, that's still like a whole setup. That's still random and like too open-ended for me. Like I'm so happy just to sit here, do my little mini game. I'm only doing one at a time. Like I can imagine Pokerus would be great if you had to do like 5 Pokemon that needed perfect speed, but like I'm never doing 5 Pokemon that all need speed. I'm never doing 5 Pokemon that all need whatever. Like that's
What I think now, though,
not the case.
I think I touched on it last time, was because it's so accessible to do the Super Training now, they need to drop the price of like Carbos, Protein, and all that sort of stuff, and make it more relevant.
Yeah.
That, well, you can get like 12 in like 30 seconds, max sort of thing. So how long does it take you to get 9,800? It takes
Well,
you
that's
a bit
it.
longer
I mean,
than that. Maybe they
I'm
should drop
actually
it down to like
surprised.
3,000 or something.
No, I was just gonna say I'm actually surprised they're even leaving it in, like the Carbos and Protein and all that.
I mean, okay, here's something I found though, guys. This is interesting because I went looking for it after Kieran mentioned it. They are worth 2 BP each in the Battle Maison.
Yeah,
Which
I know
is-
they're cheaper in the Battle Maison for sure.
Well, yeah, like 2 BP. That's like one higher level battle or one super battle once you beat the first rank of those Battle Maison things. So if you just run through and do 10 battles and then do another 10 battles, or like so essentially just getting 40 BP, you can do your Carbos and whatever like fully. You can do 2 full EVs that way, and I was doing that, and that was a good way to do that. But I agree it is expensive, but that is a bit cheaper.
Maybe it's like because they want
That's
you
a
to
bit
do a
better.
late game rather than early game. So
I mean, that's what I
they want you
figured.
to actually play through the game, get to know which Pokemon actually feel good to you, train them up, then actually EV them with the battle points.
Yeah, I think that's the idea.
Yeah.
I think EVs are meant to be a bit less accessible during the storyline.
I mean, you've got your O-Powers as well, the bargain one. If you
Oh,
fully
God.
level that up, then you can drop down the Carbos price by 50% or something.
Okay, that's pretty good. I mean, yeah,
But
that's
I think they need to go in, like, all the prices have been the same since the get-go.
since day
Yeah.
one. And you're selling us this is like different regions, different time periods, all this stuff, and there's no inflation.
Yeah.
Come on.
Like Max Repels, that's sort of still uneven, everyone knows it.
Well, that's
Rather
it.
than
Super Repels are more valuable than Max Repels Pokemon. Like, Jesus. I'm getting into it. We're talking.
We're discussing the validity of the economy in Pokemon.
We're adults. We're really adults. Holy crap. I never realized till just now. Okay, so yeah.
I can't weigh in on this. I've been trained as an accountant. I have to keep away from it.
Well, yeah, exactly. Okay, well, yeah. Let's keep numbers on the table. We don't want to set judgment off. Just imagine you like starting to like go into it and you're like pulling up spreadsheets and you're like, but if they altered this, then the government of Kalos could be like.
Yeah.
I get it.
It's a weird world when you do accounting.
It's so interesting, actually. I've never thought about the economy of games as much. I mean, I hear about it in WoW a lot, but like never.
Yeah.
I mean, I was talking about this with Pez actually because we were talking about how legendaries are essentially currency. And like,
I didn't know you mentioned that, and I was like, oh yeah, that's pretty true actually.
Yeah,
and
because
shinies would be a currency.
yeah,
as well.
shinies are currency, legendaries are currency, perfect IVs are currencies. Like, there's these Pokemon that are like perfect or close enough to perfect that people want them, and you can get whatever you want out of people for them, pretty much.
Yeah, if you check the GTS, what they've done, pretty much every single Pokemon can be traded for every single legendary. They just like, uploaded back, well, I'll upload this Ditto and I want a Kyogre for it.
Yeah, exactly.
Blah, blah, blah,
and they upload Dittos.
So if someone's really desperate to find it, they're like, well, I have the legendary, I just trade it across.
Exactly.
Lost your currency. There'll be one person sitting with like a whole box full of Kyogres going,
I know, I think, well, like, Bodhi right now is catching all the legendaries in the game, so that's like, he's filling up his bank. What are you gonna say?
Oh my. No, I was just going to say, I suppose the other end of the spectrum would be if you can't afford the legendaries, you can't afford all the high currency Pokemon. That's when you go to Wonder Trade and just hit the slot machine.
That's it. That's it. And they comes through. I got a shiny Lairon through Wonder Trade once. Pez has gotten like Lugias, Ho-Ohs, like just shine like for some reason.
The Wonder Trade is just people uploading random Pokemon.
Yeah, Wonder Trade's really good too because it's usually people uploading boxes and boxes of stuff they've been breeding for competitive. So you get like a really good IV stuff. Like that's where I picked up my 5 IV Caterpie. That's where I picked up like some other stuff. The Caterpie's the only one that I'm like thinking about these days. But that Butterfree, competitive Butterfree dude. I've got too many bugs. I'm turning into like a bug catcher in the forest at the start of the game. I'm just like, hey, you want to see my Venomoth? It's fucking top percentage Venomoth.
No, you're too old for that. You're Bug Maniac.
Bug Maniac, I am. Oh my god. The guy that's just sitting in the dirt with Pokeballs, just like, I have so many friends. I should change my skin. Alright,
so should we move on from news and let's go to the question?
We can do discussion. That's probably a good idea. Speed of sorry.
We always end up with Pokemon though. We're kind of in that.
It always comes back.
I mean,
I can't. Yeah, go for it.
So I was gonna say the only other news like I heard about at anything recently was the whole Mirror's Edge 2 petition.
Oh, holy crap! Yeah, what is that about? I haven't. If you want to go,
you don't know?
I mean, I have friends that play it, but I haven't read it yet.
The simple gist of it is that Sarkeesian, you know.
Oh really?
She was hired as a consultant, I think, for Mirror's Edge 2.
Why? What?
Okay,
Okay.
Hold on. There's no specific details on what her involvement exactly is, but she is supposedly involved with the game in some way.
I realize that may have come across weird.
There's a petition going around to get her off it.
Oh, right.
Explain Mirror's Edge to me. I don't know what it is.
Mirror's Edge is a game where like parkour.
It's a lot of parkour. Yeah.
Parkour is illegal, and they use parkour to deliver packages that are like the government doesn't want them to deliver. It's like this like underground thing.
Yeah.
It is the best first-person parkour game you can play. I think it's like the most intuitive to play, the most like free-running, the most like open to improvisation.
I think I've probably glanced over at some stage.
It looks really fun. Like
and it actually.
Yeah.
I mean, the original game, it already has a very well-liked and popular female protagonist, a female lead.
A very strong female lead, and that's why I would. So that was my first reaction. I should explain that. Anita Sarkeesian, do you know her from the feminism in gaming tropes videos, and stuff like that? She is. It's safe to say she's the most outspoken about female image in games right now, right? Like she's at the forefront of that.
Yeah.
I mean, she's the only one I hear about, right?
No, I hear you. Yeah, she's pretty up there. Yeah.
It's kind of rough on her because, like, I mean, yeah, I'll get into that too. But it's like she comes out and she says, she sort of. This is such a fucking can of worms. I don't want to like.
Yeah. That's the problem. Like.
I'm gonna speak openly, Ben. I'm gonna speak from the heart.
Oh God. I was gonna say.
It's not gonna be offensive.
Yeah. Probably stick to your opinion on whether or not there should be a petition, but.
Well, no, that's it. But that's what I'm saying. Like, if we don't know her involvement, like, I thought the petition was going to be like directly relating to her interfering with something and changing something, because the protagonist in Mirror's Edge is already really strong and really cool. Like I don't know what you would want to check on that and to keep checked on that, because she's like not sexualized at all. You're first person the whole time. Like she's just a powerful lead, and I don't know. Like I just feel like that's a weird choice, but I don't know what her qualifications are. I don't actually know what she does in the industry, so maybe just.
That's the thing. Like no one's completely sure. I mean, they think that probably it's just as a consultant,
which is weird. But all right,
for feminist issues, I guess.
Yeah.
Is it like trying to do it the right way? Like now.
I think it's kind of like a public relations consultant, practically.
Sorry. Yeah, go on.
Well, I mean, I think it's basically similar to like a public relations consultant along the lines of like, okay, you need to have this and this in your game to have it be politically correct and all that stuff.
And if Anita Sarkeesian is on your team, she's not going to come out at the other end of it and say that it was like a sexist game. So you've like locked that down. That's safe.
Yeah.
Like, she's not going to come after you.
So yeah, the petition's pretty like. It's simply worded. I mean, there's no real like they're civil about it. It basically comes down to EA. We don't know what the heck you're doing.
But you're scaring us.
Well, yeah, that's kind of what it is. Like you're scaring us. This person doesn't represent women and women gamers and.
Well, that's it. There's so much backlash against her that it's strange to put her in there. But I'm happy for her to be in there. I've always respected like Anita Sarkeesian's opinions and stuff. Like it's her right to have those, you know. But it's still, like, I'm still sitting there going like, why is The Legend of Zelda sexist? Because there's a princess in it. Like you're vilifying a storyline that is like that's how you motivate a character, and that's like. And it's not like they're even in a relationship. It's not like Link wins Zelda at the end.
Stories. It's like the whole thing of Legend of Zelda. I finished Skyward Sword.
Yeah, there you go. Skyward
like,
Sword
that sort of tells you what's happening. It's like, well, the goddess is reincarnated all the time because Demise has put this curse on him with his last bit of power that says this will always repeat.
Yeah, this is the
So that's actually the story itself. I don't see if there's like if it's a story, why does it have to be? Like it has to be shaped and molded to suit every single person that comes in.
And she called that out with Mario as well. I think Mario is a lot more objectifying because it does make it about
Mario. You can see it like clearly that they're doing that because Mario they could change up. They did have Peach as an ally in one of the Mario.
Exactly, and that's great.
Having Peach is like rescue Peach. She's
exactly, and like that's and like I would say Peach is the weaker female protagonist to Zelda because Zelda is like very strong. She gets to be Sheik. She gets to be like a warrior at the same time.
Okay, no, I was gonna say I got a link I could send to you guys.
Oh, cool.
What the heck would I send that in though?
Oh man, wherever it could go.
Twitter would do.
Yeah, if you tweet at us, we'll get it.
I say Legend of Zeke.
Put in Twitter.
I reckon they need the making of Sheik. That would be so cool.
It would be like Assassin's Creed in my mind.
And the Legend of Groose as well.
Legend of Groose. Oh yeah, well Groose is a playable character in the Legend of Sheik. And Groose is the best dude. Holy shit. Cool. I think we just got that.
Yeah.
Tweet,
it should be a link to the actual petition.
Yeah,
oh my god. Okay.
That's great.
At this point, it's almost got 25,000 signatures.
I know my reaction didn't say that I was like going to sympathize with Anita Sarkeesian at the start of this, but like, holy crap, that's unfair. Like,
I guess
almost got that many signatures.
I guess it's a form of monitoring, isn't it? It's like
it's like keeping things in check, I guess. At the same time, like, but I feel like there's so much malice behind it. There's so much like. Raw grossness in the community for like against Anita Sarkeesian. Wow. That's it. It's can of worms. Like no matter what is going on, it's not the best situation to be in. Like
because I mean that's
it's hard to just.
I mean this might sound a bit weird, but I mean like occasionally like with the people you follow and that, you'll see it come up on Twitter and all that kind of stuff.
Exactly.
And I basically just look at them like, okay, I'll read this, and then I don't want to say anything because I'm only starting out with YouTube and everything, and I don't want to already get a bad name for myself somehow.
Be that guy that started bad. Yeah. I mean, no, but like that's like the popular thing, right? Like you'll have people come after you if you go against Anita Sarkeesian, but like the popular opinion and like the popular thing in the community is like, ugh, Anita Sarkeesian, and like that's so unfair. And I feel like our community isn't like that, and we're good about that. But like I know there's that attitude out there, and there's this knee-jerk reaction to like you've heard the story about Anita Sarkeesian saying that these games are sexist or whatever. But did you watch the video and did you like listen to it and did you go, well, you make these points, but they're not technically valid?
I've actually watched a couple of them.
Yeah, I've watched them.
I was like, it's okay. You got a few. Long. Like, I mean, you have a few points, but. Like,
but yeah, she's heavy-handed. Like that's it.
That's the other thing. I mean, it honestly does come across as like, okay, this is just me speaking candidly, but it does come a little across like she's doing the same thing like they were doing, where video games cause violence, video games cause misogyny.
Yeah.
Yeah, and we're grooming a generation of men to act like this somehow, which is completely ridiculous.
Yeah.
I think. I mean, if they made
they actually mentioned that in to come back to the GTA 5.
Yeah.
In the actual petition, the one that got it pulled from Target, they actually mentioned that in the petition. Like that's grooming young boys to.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's that's what I was referring to. Yeah. Like, I mean, I without noticing, I did directly lift that. You're right.
Oh, okay.
I have a character put into a game that is the like feminist sort of deal. So like have a character added to the story that there is like a person that's saying, well, this is wrong.
Oh, like actually make it a valid point of view in the story.
You can't control what creative content should be.
And it's about the
developer. It's artwork, exactly. It's about personal what they're putting into it. But if it's going to be a story about like getting rid of like getting rid of sexism itself, or getting rid of racism, it has to be like a component of it. Yeah, naturally.
Exactly.
You can't just like say, well, no, just get rid of it.
It's gone
completely.
Just replace it with club nubs.
Just shape it to be like this. Because then she's basically doing it like she's saying, well, we'll shape their mind to be like this.
Well, exactly. It's brainwashing, and censorship is the first step to controlling people, right? And like being like, no, well, this content's not okay for you, and it's like, and it's the same thing with our government has recently just passed a law on being able to control some of the content on the internet and censor content on the internet, and they say it's to do with copyright and stuff, but yeah, they want to control it all. They want to turn in and be able to say, well, no, you can't look at that website that says we're bad or whatever, like that stuff. I imagine, but like. The thing is, right now, it's copyrighted material, and they're saying you can't have copyrighted material. Websites are copyrighted material, and I was like, that's fine, but you're being vague, and you're saying things like, like YouTube has copyrighted material on it. Like, where's the cutoff here? Like, what are we losing? What are we gaining here? And
Are you going to take the trouble to go through and block everything on YouTube that's copyrighted? I mean...
Exactly, you're not. You're going to turn YouTube off, and that's going to be the end of it. Like, it's going to be bad how they deal with it. And it's the same sort of thing, It's just, it's that mother complex almost of being like, no, we're taking that away. Like, mother complex is not a good way to put that, because there's mothers out there that are really cool.
Parent.
Yeah, it's a parent's issue.
It's like obsessive parenting.
Yeah, and then it's an issue with the developer too. Like Hatred, that game that came out, I think it was called Hatred. It was that top-down game. Hatred. Oh my god, that thing was like everyone got up in arms because there was this game. And the trailer showed like some like 90s like leather coat dude being like, "Oh, I hate everything. Everything's so bad." Da, da, da. And then he like goes and does a bunch of violent murders, and people getting up in arms. They're like, "Oh, this video game's really violent, and it's like really nihilistic and like very in the vein of Columbine and stuff." And I was just like, guys, calm down. Let's just.
It's kind of funny because it got a little weird with. like it got a little weird with that game specifically because like I'm trying to think the right way to put this, but on one side, a lot of people were just upset with it because of the content, because of what it is, right?
Yeah, yeah.
But on the
100%.
other side, like a lot of gamers and the such were upset with it because they thought like, oh well, they're just putting out this pile of crap and it's going to give us a bad name.
Well, exactly. That was it, and that was the funniest thing about. Like, I mean, not funny because that's not funny at all. And it's so bad that we have to deal with that. But like, yeah, the community was very much like, we don't like being associated with this. Like, we're not like that, and this is one developer's thing. Like, why do we have to pay for it?
I mean, it basically seems like it's literally just made for shock, and that's it. Shock value.
Oh, that trailer was 100% shock value. Like, I bet as soon as you get in the game, it's like the most tame, exactly the same as Crimson Land, exactly the same as like Bullet Hells of all shapes and sizes. They're basically like GTA 1 and 2 sort of thing. I really don't see how that could possibly be that bad. I don't know. And you know, it's like saying, let's put someone that criticizes video game violence on that game, and then
I don't like know. A lot of I don't know. The thing is, like a lot of people's, well, yeah. I mean, a lot of people's problem with it was less the violence and more like the character that's doing the violence.
Well, that's it. Like his attitude was like, "Fuck yeah, I'm killing people."
Yeah, it was literally just some psycho that would go on a killing spree. I mean.
Well, exactly, and as you just said, Kieran, there's books about that. There's movies like Bonnie and Clyde. Like one of the is literally that. Like they're going out, they're being criminals, and they die in a big bloodbath. Like
yeah, if it's a film, and brand it towards whatever genre it fits into. If it's a video game, it's a video game. It's like everyone else in the world doesn't see video games as having genres. They see video games as
being games.
Video games.
Yeah, the defining feature is interactivity, and then like if it's scary or whatever, that's like another thing.
We really need to have like make it public that there is different genres to video games and have like that's how you rate it as well.
And that's about understanding stuff. Like I think we're growing up. Like, we're getting there, and we're not. And it is sad that we're not there yet, and that we can't say. It's because video game genres are very different, right? Like an action game can have a scary theme to it, but it's not like a horror game technically. And it's more defined by the gameplay, like the way you interact with the content. So, like, if it's very non-linear and very exploratory MMO kind of stuff, like that's its own sort of genre almost. And like, you play to sort of your strengths there. And like, I mean, that sort of goes back to like us and what we were saying about like Final Fantasies and like the games that you sort of gravitate to and like horror game stuff. It's like, those are that's the thing that you associate with, and that's the thing you really like about games, you know, and like. Horror games do it. Horror games are probably the most defined, I'd say, because like they are a clear genre. Survival horror is like very well defined in video game genres.
Yeah, I definitely give you that.
Side-scrolling platformer, but then again, it can
that's
be
so
like,
vague, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. So like, and then that's like, so you're more of a Twitch reaction. You're more of like a action response kind of gamer if you're into those kinds of things. If you're into platformers and if you're into like that kind of gameplay. Whereas like I feel like survival horror is very much survival gameplay, you know, like and Long Dark was really good because you gravitated straight to it because it's the same sort of like prompts and the same sort of like attitudes.
I guess racing games be the only other thing. So
I mean, I would add, like, at least with the horror genre, it does kind of just split into two, I'd say. Like, on the one hand, you have the actual regular kind of survival horror where you're actually, where there's actual, like, tension and you're trying to survive and all that. And then there's the other kind, which is basically shooting a lot of zombies and stuff.
Yeah, no, for sure. Horde mode, Left 4 Dead, things like that.
Resident Evil 4, you know.
Resident Evil 4, sure.
I mean, Resident Evil 4, great game, but...
Oh, fantastic, but it did start it started the decline. I think it was like the peak of the mountain. It was like, this
Everyone
is amazing.
tried to copy
This is what we can have. And then, 5. I played through 5 with my girlfriend, and it's fun. It's a good game. It's not Resident Evil, but it's fun. You know?
Yeah.
It's great. The co-op is entertaining. Like that I would recommend that you play it by yourself because it's just not a good game and it's like boring. But if you have someone to like laugh at it and sort of like enjoy it as a bad movie, that's the one where they go to Africa. And it's this weird, like, analogy for, like, disease in Africa almost. And, like, people were like, that's racist. And I was like, it's just art. They're just talking about something. Like, yeah, it's live. Like, what do you... They can't say that? Like, come on, man. Anyway, that's a whole other story. I agree with you 100%.
Where else do you take stuff from the world? Like, that is what we have to draw from, is what is happening in the world. So that's what games are going to be about.
Dude, 100%.
They use culture and...
100%.
Everything that happens in life,
yeah, Mario is a fantasy of an unattractive man getting a princess.
Games are just like,
oh.
I swear, sorry, that's a whole other thing as well.
Well, I mean I don't even know what to say there because when you do take something like simple as Mario,
yeah, that's exactly.
I don't know how you can think about it any more than just it's Mario. There you go.
Well, that's it. Like, and that was my thing when Anita Sarkeesian brought it up, was that, like, Mario saving the princess. I was like, I never thought about it. Like, I was like, that was the story. Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's still, I mean, it's cool that
she's still making videos, right?
I think so. My big problem... Yeah. Oh, wait, go. Please.
No, I was going to say, like, I'm not sure how far along she is. If I remember right, the whole series is supposed to have 12 parts in all.
Wait, so she's not done with the original series yet?
No.
Jeez. She raised money for that. That was what I was going to say. Was like my big problem was that she was doing something that she could clearly do for free and stuff, and it was controversial and stuff, but then she was asking for money. So and it was divided into two camps. Like we had hyper supporters and hyper opposers, right? And there wasn't really much of a middle ground at that point. And so the people that were supporting her and that were like really into it were happy to give her money and were happy to just throw money at her. And it's like, I don't think the videos justify the money gained because she raised like $5,000 or something. Like,
oh wait, how much did you say?
Like $5K, about 5,000, I think. 5,000 American.
Oh, more than that, man.
Oh, really? She set it at 5K. More. She set it at 5.
She set it at, if I remember right, it was set at 6.
6, okay.
Which she got
to me was too much.
I can't even remember how much she got. It was a lot. Like
we could look this up, I'm sure.
Yeah, Google.
Look.
What was she raising the money for?
These videos that basically say like Mario and Link is sexist, kinda. I mean, there's lots of other stuff. They go over that Gears of God of War, like using that QuickTime sex scene, but she says it's very offensive and very objectifying.
Oh, right. Okay. Here we go. Yeah, it was originally 6,000.
Yep.
And she got over 150,000.
Oh, 158,000. Almost 159,000.
Yep.
Fuck me.
Now, here's the other thing. Like, this is one thing I've heard a few people say. It's a bit... Oh, no. I accidentally clicked that.
I guess it goes into analysis. Like, everything's up to interpretation. If you're going to analyze a game and say, well, it's got this, why aren't you analyzing it to say what else it has?
Yeah, but that was the problem. It wasn't two-sided. It was just this. Like, if you go to the Kickstarter page, it's still up, and you can go and look at the cover art she's used, and it's just the most like it's erotic imagery of women, and like it's like objectifying them. Yes, you are objectifying them, Anita. You did it. Like. And no one was saying those were right, you know. No one was saying.
I mean, it's marketing. That's what a character becomes. A character on a video game becomes marketing to sell the video game, and you need to approach marketing instead. And the norms of marketing versus that crude sell sort of thing. That's what she should be approaching, not like going down the level.
I mean,
and criticizing games themselves. You have to go to the higher place first.
Sure.
You can't build way up to that.
No, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for
it. Well, no, I mean, this is a bit more of a silly thing, but, okay, take into account that she was asking for 6K.
Yeah.
She made that much, and all 12 videos were supposed to be done 2 years ago.
Exactly. That's my big problem. It's that she's sketchy. It's not. It's like nothing personal.
I don't think it's sketchy.
Yeah.
Like,
I mean,
most people are basically saying, like, along the lines of just that she, at the very least, you can say that she's doing this right, because what she's doing, again, this is just the way people are saying it, is she puts out a video, it's there for a while, she waits long enough for things to calm down a little, and then puts the new one out.
She's laying low. I mean, that's probably very true. Like, the backlash against her has been immense, and it's been ridiculous, and like that's not fair. There's the two sides to it are very strong.
Well, yeah. I try to stay very much in the middle, like moderate view of any of this.
Well, like I think I'm the closest we're getting to dissing her, right? Like my reactions have been a bit overblown. I'm not trying to present that she's wrong, but like I appreciate that she's putting the point out there. I just don't think it's necessarily right. I mean, actually, to be fair, the 6,000 mark may have made more sense for like getting them all out quicker. But like, if you had 160,000, yeah, you're going to take the time and you're going to put some work into it, and you're going to maybe take like a couple of years because you've got the money now to live off, and you can do that. Yeah. That's insane, though. That's just insane that she broke her goal that much. I mean, is it fair? Is it right? I don't know. I mean, it was up to the people that gave the money.
I mean, it's all donations.
I mean, that's supporting stuff.
Exactly.
Should we move on?
Oh, sorry, what were you saying, Kieran?
I mean, they're just the people who are backing it are supporting it, and they believe in it. So it's like
exactly.
It's good for them that these videos are going to come out, sort of thing, and it's good for everyone else to be.
I think it's good to get the discussion out there. Like, for
it's
sure.
just how do you talk about it without becoming offensive? How do you discuss something without the one side who's for it attacking everyone else for saying something? Because
I mean, we just have to know in ourselves that we're not doing that, right? Like, we just have to go. We just have to be like, all right, we're three like pretty well-off white guys, and pretty. I don't think I've ever known what color you. This is getting worse.
I'm okay-ish.
Yeah, but like, like that's what I mean. Though. Like, I mean, yeah, me and you, we're unemployed. Kieran's running a business and stuff. Like, we're all trying to do our best and stuff. And our opinion isn't technically the one you want to maybe take on the subject, but it is valid. We're here to say, we're here to offer a well thought out. Well, yeah, we're just looking at it with it, and we're saying to ourselves as well, and saying to each other, this isn't. We're neutral. There are there are elements to this that are like, boy, I wish I could get paid 160,000 to make 12 videos over 2 years or something. Like, that's amazing.
Anyone that wants to give me $160,000, go check my Patreon.
Yeah, right. You can find me on PayPal at if you have 160K lying around.
Yeah.
And like. She obviously didn't think that was going to happen. She asked for 6,000 for 12 videos that she was going to put a lot of work into. Fine, that's fine. If she has the audience and she has the like running for it.
A video.
Yeah, like I don't think that's awful. 500 a video. It's pretty that's reasonable wage. Especially if she's
pretty cheap actually.
Yeah, pretty cheap because she's probably going to put in like months or whatever into that stuff.
Now she's got more than 10 grand a video.
Yeah, exactly. So like the pressure is there. I would be buckling if I was her. That's like so much pressure. That's so real, and like that's so much faith put into you and stuff. Like, Jesus.
I mean, would you hire a team?
Yeah, you'd be. I would be. I'd be getting graphics people. I'd be getting marketing. I'd be doing everything.
Why doesn't she use that money to make a video game?
Make a video. That's a good one.
That's what a lot of people have partially said. It's like, okay, well, I mean, if you think video games are missing all this stuff and you want video games to be this way, why don't you make one?
Yeah, like change the industry, right? Like, because we're at a point where you have the ability to do that. She probably has enough excess cash lying around after those donations to like probably fund something like an indie game, right?
But I think you'd probably find out how difficult it is to actually make a video.
And to make a balanced character in the interactive medium.
Something that's sellable too.
So ridiculous. I was told,
one of the problems a lot of people have as well is like is along the lines that if they do if they do kind of try and set up like the best way I can put it is like a checklist. It's like the video game has to include this, and it has to have this, and it has to have this, or it's sexist, or it's racist or something.
Yeah. Or it's offensive.
If it doesn't, if it doesn't have these things, but we have no idea how to properly implement these things, so we're just gonna shoehorn it in there, it's gonna be a bad game.
Well, that's it. It's not going to be fun, and that comes back to the developer. Like, the developer can make a fun game, but it could have a message in there that you don't agree with, and like that. I mean, that goes back to Ender's Game. I mean, there's no anti-gay messaging in Ender's Game, but the author does have that inside him. Like, that's the thing that you have to think about. I mean, not as related as I thought.
I mean, it has to. Well, I mean, it all has to come from your own creative process, right?
Yeah, exactly. And like your experience, who you are, and stuff like that, for sure. It's 100% it. And I don't know.
To make a virtual reality realistic, though, you have to have everything in it.
Well, exactly. You have to represent humanity.
Because that's what a video game is. It's a virtual reality.
Exactly.
Like, you're part of a reality already that has all these things in it.
Yeah, you're in this world.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, in that sense, I mean, if you look at like GTA 5, like they've got every type of person you could think of in it. I mean,
exactly, and even the three protagonists they gave you represent.
Yeah, I mean, it's the parody on life, pretty much. GTA 5.
But I mean, aside from those,
every single game is going to be a GTA clone.
Yeah, exactly.
But well, I mean, what you need to think about there is, despite having all those different types of people in it, I mean, it's only the three main characters that you ever see the full story of. So they're working off what they know there, right? It's not like they have to. Yeah, I mean, it's not like they have to make up a full story for every single person there.
Like, you can follow your wife around and see her day to day. Besides not just those moments, and you can just random prostitute that I slept with. Now I will follow you, and I will go see your family and your children. All those single kids, the single mother stuff you're doing, and I'm going to consider murdering you for the cash to get the cash back. I'm going to really think about it and put a lot of
the funny thing is, from what I've heard, most people don't do that because it's not worth the stars.
Exactly.
Apparently, you pay, I think it's $100, and if you kill them, you get $6.
Yeah, exactly. You don't get nothing. That's been the case forever. The fact that money.
Dealers are the dudes that have
drug dealers are the ones you want to kill.
And that's
you get rewarded for vigilante justice, right?
Exactly. You get rewarded. Hey, 2,000 for just murdering a guy who's selling crack on the street.
Yeah, and that's. I mean, and no one's talking about that. It's like, hey, safe representation of crack dealers, right?
Oh my God, we've come full circle.
I mean, yeah, it's equal representation of everyone, and that goes back. I said at the start, equal opportunity massacre, equal opportunity mass killings. That's GTA.
Yeah.
And I think we've broken the issue down. We know what the problem is. We know how to fix it. We're three white guys. We got this.
Oh God.
The point I want to add is there's no racism isn't brought up in games at all.
Not as much.
There's no.
It's rare.
It's rare, yeah, exactly.
Equality, saying there's no black guy in Mario.
Yeah, where's Black Mario? That'd be amazing. I mean,
that would be actually we're in a world where it would be fine to do that.
Well, I talked about it in the podcast a few podcasts back. I was like, the way to do Mario is you expand the universe. Yeah. You add new characters to it. Maybe rehashing.
Rehashing. Highlighting everything to HD.
Which is Anita Sarkeesian's fucking problem, is that they're just it's the same princess story every time and stuff.
I would that too, but it's boring. It's not selling.
Yeah, exactly. But I mean, Galaxy did a good job. I mean, Galaxy was fun. Super Mario Galaxy and Galaxy 2 were good games.
At the same time, I think it has to be the same story because there's kids that are growing up and Nintendo wants to get those kids in, so they're going to release
let's do a spin-off game. Yeah, exactly. Let's do a spin-off as well, right? Let's put a lot of effort into the 3D platformer Luigi game. and it's got a whole bunch of other characters in it. It's just completely different. That's sort of like Luigi's Mansion did it with Professor Egad and stuff.
Yeah, but well, I mean, what's the one that came out recently? Captain Toad.
Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. That's a really good example. Exactly.
Yeah.
That's expanded universe stuff, and that's a different character.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, oh god, I don't want to get into that where like the Toads are the black people of that universe. Wait a minute. Oh god, they're all slaves. Oh god.
No.
Cut it.
No. If you're gonna compare the Toads to anything, it's more like serfs. I don't know.
Yeah, exactly. Well, that's it, right? Like but that's it. You're not. You're not meant to bring it. But exactly. Everyone just flagged the video. No, it's
What was the question? Let's move on to the question.
Okay, sorry.
Oh,
yeah,
okay, sorry.
No. Sorry. Schedules.
Back into it.
It's good idea. Good save me from the internet because I'm gonna get in trouble on this one.
Keep going. Yeah.
Yeah, I will keep
going.
going.
The question we're gonna ask.
The question, I believe the question we want to talk about is holiday season's coming up. We're going to talk about what is the most money you've spent on a game. What's your sort of price point? Where are you at with like have you bought a special edition? Have you bought and then what were the repercussions of that? What was the?
I've spoken about it before.
Okay, we'll
go to Dzaran.
Yeah, Dzaran first, I think.
Oh my. I'm trying to think here now.
Well, yeah, if you don't have it off the top of your head, I do have one.
Well, like, the thing is, like, when I was younger, like, I'd purchase a lot more games, like, it's kind of funny, when I was younger, I'd get a lot more of them, like, when it was secondhand, like, I could wait, it's like, just go into, like, an EB, and it's like, oh, well, look, it's only $10 now, yeah, sure, I'll pick that up.
Yeah, exactly.
But
that's what
later in the...
But I mean, later... I don't care about Yeah, go on. Sorry.
But no, I mean, in later years, it was like, it was so weird because it would be like I'm buying a lot less games, but the ones I do buy are all like collector's editions and...
Right.
Yeah. Because, oh, God. Yeah,
I mean,
the money you can spend on that, dear God.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah. Just briefly on a side note, I'm not sure if you bought it or anything. I didn't buy it, but Battlefield 4, I want to say, or that new Battlefield that came out that had collector's edition and then season passes and then like everything DLC and just the DLC that wasn't in the season pass stuff. Like, yeah, so it was just like it's stacked up and people who were buying it with special editions and stuff were spending like $200 or something on that game.
Okay. I can genuinely. Oh no, sorry. Go ahead, Kira.
The special edition for GTA 5 that came out when it was first released was like a map that had you needed UV light to see all the secrets. That's cool. And DLC, that was pretty much it, but I'm pretty sure they jacked up the price. Yeah. Or maybe that was the pre-order.
Well, and you can buy money as well. You can do microtransactions in GTA to like get ahead, which I don't agree with, but you know, fair.
Yeah, I mean, I can say genuinely, I've never spent $200 on a game.
Sorry.
Never.
I mean,
what about multiple games? Have you gone out on a shopping?
I mean,
I just bought multiple games in one lot.
Yeah, had a big day.
Usually most of what I get now, like anything that's more expensive, is online actually, rather than in store. I mean, occasionally I'll put a pre-order in, like on something. Like, well, I mean, I'll put a pre-order in for Sapphire, so.
Yeah, exactly.
But I'd say the most off the top of my head I might have spent is $160-ish on a game. On one.
Yeah, one. I mean, that's not that bad.
I think that was the collector. I think that was the collector's edition for Disgaea 4.
Oh, but that's a good buy. That is not a bad idea.
Well, the thing is, actually, that's the funny thing, because a lot of the games I got more, like, again, later, were from specifically NIS, Nippon Ichi Software.
Oh, right. Sure.
Are you familiar with them at all?
Yeah, I mean, Disgaea, am I right?
They do a lot of... They do a lot of, like, tactical RPG games.
Yeah. I'm going to look it up as well.
But, I mean, they've had... What they actually did, like, they have the regular edition. There's usually a collector's edition you can get at stores,
Yeah.
And then there's their own limited edition that's their own store's website, like their own website that you can buy straight from them.
That's pretty cool.
So it was that limited edition I picked up because it wasn't just like here's the boxed copy of the game and these couple of extras. It's like, oh no, here's the boxed copy of the game, extras. Here's another 12 figurines that come with it.
And wow.
Yeah.
Dude, I watched the Disgaea anime for a little while, and
yeah.
I would love to have those characters in like figurines.
I get a little crazy with the collector's items a bit.
I mean, that's fair. Like, look,
I pre-ordered Animal Crossing and got the book and the little figurine of Isabelle and the little town hall.
That would have been a amiibo if it came out now.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Yeah.
No, it's fun. It's so much fun. I had those sitting on my car dashboard for ages. And I was
like having stuff. I mean, if they gave away these little toys with Pokemon, I would have pre-ordering for sure, like for that reason, like
in a Pokeball that enlarged.
Oh my! And it was like a living creature, and you could battle it with your friends.
Yeah, I pre-ordered that for sure.
Pre-order a living Pokemon. But they only released one because it's the pre-order giveaway, so we're all just battling with the Pikachu for the rest of our lives. But it's alive, it's real, so that's like. Anyway. Yeah, back to Pokemon every time. Yeah, I get that. I mean, my most at once for me was Guild Wars 2. Me and my friend got special editions of that. It cost about $130. And we got upsold at the store too. So like we didn't go in there going for the collector's edition, but the guy was like, "Hey, look at this! It's got all this stuff in it, and it's got all this like extra." Yeah. So. I mean, we got excited because we thought we were going to be like playing Guild Wars 2 for the rest of our lives when we bought it. We were like, this is going to be our WoW.
This is the game.
Yeah, this is it. This is the game. It's so fun. Oh my god. And then
how long did it last?
Eric bought WoW the next week because he was like, he just left me, and then I was like, I got up to level 20 or something, and I was just like, I can't do this anymore.
He bought WoW a week later and you lost.
Exactly. Like I was like, why would you buy Guild Wars if you're gonna just buy WoW in a week? Like, WoW is clearly the one that we all should have bought. Like I would have gotten WoW too, probably. I could have spent that 130.
Yeah, we got WoW together.
Yeah, we could have played WoW together, dude. It's literally, it's like Guild Wars and WoW is so interchangeable for me. So yeah, I'd play whatever. But yeah, that was probably my most, was 130 on that, and I was like quite young, so that was like a big spend for me, for sure.
But one game, Diablo 3, that was 100. Was it 99?
It's
I think it was
like
99.
80. I swear I paid 80 for it. It could be 99. I don't remember. I blocked that from my memory.
One game that didn't have any extra nothingness, had to be online. I think that's the most expensive.
That was my moment where I was like, okay, Blizzard, you're not my favorite anymore. you ruined it. And it's not for the reasons everyone keeps saying. No one's upset about skill trees but me. Yeah. I mean, like, I know people are, and I know people like mad that skill trees are out of Diablo 3, but like the news articles are never like they don't have skill trees and stuff. They're always like auction house and stuff, and I'm like, just don't go to the auction house. The skill trees is something that you literally are being forced to not have. They're not. They're like, every character was way more arcadey. I mean, 100% that works for the console release, and that's what people were saying. It's like, oh, it's super arcadey and it's really good for console because like each button is an attack and stuff. And whatever. Whatever. I just bring back my favorite franchise. Like it was my favorite dungeon crawler. Like Diablo was, I love that game. And then like Pezza as well. Pezza's put like over 160 hours into like Diablo 2 and stuff. Like he's into that game, and like Path of Exile just took over really. Path of Exile is what Diablo 3 should have been, unfortunately. Because like Path of Exile, I have some issues with microtransactions. They're really good developers. It's a free game, so like microtransactions are totally acceptable. It's just the people that I interact with are super obsessed with that game. So like it's hard for me to be like, oh, what a fun little thing, because it's like, no, it is a numbers machine, and you need to be competitive. Like it's like
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So like I don't know. That's my drawback, but it is sort of what Diablo 3 should have been. Huge skill trees, super customizable characters.
Just ask everyone else. Like,
Caliente.
comment below what was your most expensive game you bought.
Well, did you say your
Yeah,
Diablo 3?
I'm asking everyone. Like,
Yeah.
comment.
Question of the day. Tell us what was your most expensive, most paid for. I don't know how to say it.
Just most money you spent on a game.
Yeah, most money spent on a game. I feel like a big one for people is Sims. Because Sims has all the expansions.
What about Skylanders?
Oh.
Skylanders is another one. Like the Amiibo could be at this point. Yeah.
No, you just reminded me of something. You know, Civ 5.
Yeah.
Like, I bought Civ 5 quite a while back. It was like kind of on sale, so I got it cheap-ish. I think it was like
I bought it on sale too.
33% off or something. But like this was before the expansions, right?
Right. Yeah. Oh, right. So that sucks.
No. Here's the funny thing.
Yeah.
After at one point, I think it was during the summer sale, like this year, they had Civ 5 with all the expansions on sale. No. Here's the funny thing.
It's just building up for me. Your stories have the best punchlines.
No. The funny thing is, buying the entire pack, like with Civ 5 included and all the expansions on sale, like buying that entire pack was actually, and because I had Civ 5 already, the extra copy is basically useless. I can't give it to anyone. You can't do anything with it.
Really?
Yeah.
Jesus.
Can't do anything with it. That's still cheaper than buying all the expansions.
Oh man. What?
It saves you like a good $80.
80.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yeah. See, like that's it. Like, and is that like an ethical thing at that point? Like, is that like an ethical decision that the developer has to make, where they're like, maybe we shouldn't charge $80 for this extra content kind of thing, right? Like,
well, the thing is, it's not that it's not that they're charging like an extra $80. It's more just if you buy each one individually, rather than outside of the package deal that happens to be on sale as well. On top of that, it will cost a lot more.
Right. So
even if each separate one was on sale for the same amount, it would still be more.
I mean, look, I'm a bit hot-headed when it comes to this stuff, like for sure. Like I'm the first person that's gonna like jump to those scoundrels kind of attitude when I hear about stuff. So you know, I totally I'm prone to overreact.
I was honestly looking at it. I was more along the lines of just, well, I already have the game, which is genuinely cheaper. It's like, wow, really? Well, screw it. I'll have a useless copy of Civ 5. Thank you.
Yeah. That's so weird that they can let you trade it up though.
No, it's weird. I don't get. I think maybe if I didn't install the first one, then maybe I could do something with that one. Okay. I don't know if it's because it's like attached to the expansions or something, like in a bundle, and that's why I couldn't give it away. But
I mean, yeah. Whatever it is.
That's more saving money, but yeah.
No, 100%. I mean, like, that's cool that you could pick it up for like cheaper though. I mean, that's because like on Steam, whenever I see a full price game, like an $80 game or something, or a $40 game even, I'm like, oh my god, that's so expensive. But like realistically,
no, I'm the same way.
And we've got it pretty good.
We do have it pretty good. I'm looking at the sales that are on right now in the week long, and everything is like under $2. Like there's so many games here for like $2, $3 and stuff. So like people can complain about this stuff, but it's not like that.
I mean, at this point, the only things I've paid full price for, other than like collector's editions, were games I thought I needed to get for the channel.
No, exactly. Me too. I buy games for reviews and stuff like that. 100%. I bought Divinity: Original Sin. Actually, it was on special for 33% off. Just bought it, and me and pairs. I think we're gonna play through it, hopefully. So like yeah, and that was because I wanted it desperately because it looks like really fun. It looks like right up my alley, but also yeah, it was like targeted for channel use, you know. And like Hammer Watch 2, Faster Than Light, which should come up soon. Monaco, which as soon as I can get people together to do that.
How much would you spend on an iOS game? Would you spend anything on it?
$1. On like a mobile phone game.
Yeah.
Oh, I've never actually gotten one.
Really?
Okay, that's interesting. I
have never in my life had a phone capable of running any of this.
You're in a better place. Yeah. You're in
I'm an old timer.
Well, like it was a thing for me when I first got a smartphone. Was like, oh my god, I can install everything on this, and then like you fill up your memory and you have to go through and delete apps. And it's just like this whole mess. And like I have a 3DS, like I have portable gaming, like I don't need it here necessarily.
Have you noticed, like I've bought a few, but I get this weird feeling like if a game is $4.99 on the iOS, it's like, man, that is really expensive. But it's $5. Like I'd pay. Yeah, it's like exactly any other game for like $10 to $20. So you can't even buy like a sandwich for that amount of money, and like you're complaining like. It's this weird thing.
I get it, dude.
People whinge about prices. You go through the reviews. It's just like, wait, that's way too expensive.
No, I deserve more than this. I am a gamer, a gamer of the people of the kingdom.
I don't know. It's a weird thing with iOS.
We're very privileged. Yeah. Like we are, as a society, we're very privileged at this point. South Park did a really funny episode about mobile gaming just recently that actually talked about it, where they were saying Satan shows up and he talks to Stan about endorphin addiction and about being addicted to getting what you want, and how our society can give you that instantly. And and I thought that was really smart. Like that is very true to the fact like Steam and mobile games, they play off that like firing off your endorphins at you and firing off your pleasure centers at you by being like, you got a reward, yay, you do it so well, man, like keep going, you're the best, you're my best friend, yeah, you want that for $1 maybe? You want to give me $1 for that? And it's just like, yeah, it's all about targeting our pleasure center.
No, I mean, they talked about it as well on an episode of, do you watch Game Theory at all?
I do.
Yeah,
I do.
So they did an episode on that on mobile games.
Yeah. Oh, that's right.
Why they're addictive, right?
Yeah, I'd have to go back and watch it again, but I do remember it.
No, I mean, it was basically the same idea, like what you mentioned.
Yeah, exactly.
I avoid the addictive games on mobile devices.
Can you?
They don't really get, like, there was Tiny Tower, I don't know if you've heard of that one.
Oh, dude.
Where it's like it's pretty much Sim Tower, where you build your tower up, and then it takes ages.
And exactly. Days.
Like, you got to go in every day and tap all your shops open.
The Simpsons Tapped Out is what is dragged, and my girlfriend and two people know in.
But at the same time, like that's meant to be an addictive game. I was playing it for the fun of it, and when I was like, I didn't feel like I had to go back to it. I was like,
okay. Well, exactly. And that might be something to do with your willpower and your personality, though, right? Like it's so hard to not get suckered in by that kind of stuff, I think. And like Pokemon's doing it now.
Pokemon is doing
it now. 100%. Well, like Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, like how you have to wait a day to do events again, and how you have to and the actual Dex nav and the way you search for Pokemon, that feels like a mobile game to me. Like when you tap on that Pokemon and search for it and stuff, like that feels like a little mobile minigame like that you'd get on the phone. Yeah. Like
I can see that, yeah.
Yeah, I was almost surprised they weren't offering you like paid stuff as well. Like you can pay $1 and you'll have Pokeballs just in your inventory. That's pretty cool, right? Like I was surprised that they have that.
Has Nintendo ever been big on like the microtransactions?
Bravely Default had it, and that's sort of why I'm expecting it now, is because one game did it, and now I'm like, and they've spoken about wanting to move into mobile, and wanting to move into like mobile gaming a bit more and stuff. Wait,
there were microtransactions in that one?
Yeah, in Bravely Default, you can pay an amount to, like, you know how you've got that like rest bonuses?
I remember.
Yeah. So yeah, well, basically when you have your DS shutdown, you gain these bonuses in battle or something, and you can pay to get them as well. And so it was like, it was this weird thing, and I didn't feel good about it. And like we had friends that were getting Bravely Default, and I was just like, that game with the fucking, it's like trying to sell microtransactions to you on 3DS, like what the fuck? Like, I got really upset, but then they were like, it's a really good game. I can't fault it for that.
I think I just didn't notice it because, like, when I was playing it, it was basically along the lines of just, well,
Yeah.
all right, time for work. I'll put it in power save, and then day's
Well,
over. Okay.
There you go. That's it. And using the actual function, it totally supersedes that function to be like, oh, it like charges up when it's put in sleep mode, so it's like cool to take breaks, and then like, but you could also pay. It's like, it's so weird. I mean, I know they didn't put it full frontal. They didn't make it like a mobile game where you could accidentally just like spend money on it and stuff, which is great. I really do. I think they did it right. But at the same time, it was there.
Phone, like, set to, I can't make transactions.
Oh, okay, cool.
But I've forgotten the password, so I never actually do want to. Because sometimes they release games with a light version. The only way to unlock them is to pay to unlock them.
Right, the microtransaction opens it. Yeah.
Otherwise they'll have like a light version and they'll have the full version that you download. And take on.
Yeah.
So, like, I'll be playing the game and I'll be like, oh, this actually looks cool. I wouldn't mind
having it.
the full thing. Because there is some like good iOS games that are just really
stuff.
Casual.
Well, yeah, I was
don't have to worry about like always being bombarded with you can pay this, you can pay that.
Exactly.
Do that.
I was gonna say, like, these are the games I have on my phone right now. Crazy Taxi, Grabitron, which is a free game. Crazy Taxi was like $5, but it is Crazy Taxi, so that's like, I love having that on my phone.
Yeah.
Space Team, which is like a little multiplayer thing you can play with other people that have iOS devices and stuff, and a Game Boy Advanced emulator. Don't tell Nintendo.
Oh, don't worry, they're working on that.
I know, and well, like, I only use it to play Mother 3 because Mother 3 didn't come out, and I was gonna have to emulate it anyway, and being able to emulate it handheld was like the best option for me. But, like, I've every time I open it up, I'm like, I'm deleting this as soon as I finish Mother 3. I want to stream it as well, so I want to start it up on computer, so I might not have that on my phone for very long. But like, yeah, like those are the things I have on my phone. They're not like
games I have on
really
my phone.
glitchy.
I mean, that would obviously be a good one for you to do, Mother 3. Jeez.
Oh, I'm so excited to do Mother 3. I want to start a whole show that's just fan-translated stuff, but I think I'm going to start streaming Mother 3. I talked about it a little while ago. But I want to finish Shovel Knight, so I'm going to stream Shovel Knight, finish that, so that's done, because I'm sick of starting games and not finishing them. I'm terrible about it. And then I'm gonna move on to Mother 3. I'm gonna 100% Mother 3. That's gonna be great.
You possibly need to do more games that have no end.
Well, that's it. Noir Syndrome.
You don't need to worry about not finishing it. There is no ending. So.
Well, that's it. Like, Noir Syndrome was like that for me because I played it the most out of any game I played for the channel because it didn't have an end because I didn't feel pressured at all. I was just making it up as I went along, and I was like, I could just come back to it and whatever. So and it wasn't overhanging me. I bought the new game from Glass Knuckle Games, which I want to play with a few guys from the channel soon as well. Thief Town.
Okay.
Came out. It's like a little mini multiplayer game. You'll see it soon enough, everyone. It's fine. That's a side note. Yeah.
Alright, we need to move on again because I can actually go soon.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Are we going to move on to Spooky Christmas?
Yeah, let's. Okay, we're gonna do it, and especially so that you can stop worrying about it, Kieran, because I know it always comes up when we're like, what are we gonna talk about this week? It's like Spooky Christmas, and I'm like, shut up. It'll happen.
Just gonna swap some ghost stories.
Okay. All right. I'm ready. My body is ready. And this is good because we also talked about it because we wanted to do this with you, Dzaran, because you have good. Your horror channel as well.
Didn't you say that you lived in the most haunted town in Canada or something? Didn't you say you lived in the most haunted town in Canada or one of the most renowned towns?
It's kind of well renowned, yeah.
St. John's, right?
But that's mostly because of okay, a little bit of history.
Yeah, give light on this.
This is honestly one of the oldest cities in North America, at least Canada-wise.
Yeah.
And that's just because, Newfoundland was easily just settled first. It was, I mean, it's the first thing you come to as you come across to North America, aside, depending on whether you're north or south. But
yeah, sure.
So, I mean, it's just been around for so long that, it's developed stories over time and the such, right?
Yeah, for sure. I get that. That's just...
Well, I mean, I think I mentioned this last time. I mean, one of the things that they have going on here, especially in October for like tourists and that, are stuff like Haunted Hike and that kind of idea.
Yeah.
Where it's literally, you know, it's literally a tour through town telling the stories, right?
I mean, yeah, that's really interesting. They do that. I mean, they do that for Jack the Ripper and stuff like that. They do those kind of horror tours in other places as well.
They've got one in Sydney. You go through the rocks and down through like the old tunnels that they had in Sydney.
Oh God!
But the thing with Australia is it's not an old country, so there's not that terror to it. It's
we
like,
don't have that kind of history.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think.
We're only like 150 years old or something crazy like that.
Yeah, but the native people have like ghost stories.
Yeah, exactly.
That are really interesting.
Like, the Aboriginal people have the dream time and all these stories of like,
which do have scary parts in them.
Terrifying.
They're weird stories that like. I don't even. Yeah. Anyway, sorry. So flashbacks to primary school. It's like, oh my God.
It's a typical one that you get told. Like, we went to an Aboriginal community in Darwin.
Yeah.
When I was a little kid, and they were saying like, if you kids, you got to like stay together and stay with your parents. It's sort of like, you know, don't wander off alone, sort of thing.
Yeah.
But they like sort of said it that something would start calling for you, and then you get kidnapped by like sprites and stuff. So that's like relevant in all.
Yeah, well, that's it. It's one of those transitive stories where like we have the Bunyip, but then they also have the Yeti and the Sasquatch.
Yeah, like Yowie.
Yeah, Yowie and stuff. Yeah, like those stories do translate across many different cultures, which is interesting. I mean, that's like the way it's always going to go, I think.
I mean, but those stories, there's so much belief that those are actually like the Bigfoot and all.
Yeah,
and all that sort of stuff, because it's relevant across so many countries. It's like, well,
there's like science in it, right? Like there's like this thing of like Loch Ness monster is somewhere in that sludge pile, probably. Like
someone ate it already.
Like that's it. Like some king ate it, and then like there's so many. I don't know. Yeah, but exactly. It's like scientifically quantifiable stories, I guess. That kind of stuff.
Kind of ish.
Yeah. I mean, I've got a theory about aliens, like alien abductions and alien stories. They all share parallels with old fairy legends and old fairy myths about like kidnapping, seeing lights, like all the same things run through fairies to aliens. I think we did an episode of Supernatural about that actually. And so it's just it's an evolution of that story almost. It's almost like people that are seeing aliens now are the same people that saw fairies before, kind of thing. You know.
No, I mean, I would say the only thing I would say there is that, like, the concept of aliens are at least a little more,
feasible,
feasible than like Loch Ness, I'd say. Like,
well, yeah, Loch Ness that's a ridiculous one because that's like it's in this tiny location and we've never bothered to work it out, like, or whatever. Like that's that big thing.
Because no one that has money can actually try and prove Loch Ness or is willing to want to.
It. We have lightweight small submarines and stuff.
I mean, they
have
scan
ultrasound.
the whole floor as well. But now they think that there's like a cave, like that.
I mean, there's a movie about that. Yeah. Have you seen that movie like Nessie or Seahorse or something? So, yeah. It's like that little girl finds the Loch Ness monster in like some weird lake and then like.
Oh, I think I know the one you're talking about.
Yeah, that movie's terrifying. They go into the underwater of that place and they're like in that underwater cave and it's fucking scary. Like that monster is terrifying.
Wasn't that supposed to be like a family film?
Yeah, it's the scariest family film I've ever seen. Family horror. I'm surprised. Horror. They try to make it like cute, but it's such a disconnect and it's such like a sea creature that it's like. What the fuck? What the fuck? Like,
yeah, it's so adorable.
He's the best friend. Oh, Nessie. And it's like, no, seriously, because it reminded me in Mario 64. There's that Loch Ness monster thing in that wet dry world or whatever that's just swimming around. I hated being in the water with that as a kid. Like like to swim through that part, it's like so happy and like doofy. But I was just like in the deep water, and I was like, I'm gonna die. Like that monster's gonna eat me. It's gonna, and it's just like this smiling like brontosaurus thing.
I tell you, they do a good job of making it really friendly with Godzilla in the new Godzilla movie.
He's
so happy.
I was surprised he didn't give more thumbs ups. It wasn't like sweet guys. Off I go.
Anyway, so we're going to I got some stuff. Have you ever experienced anything paranormal?
Paranormal. I talked about this on the first Spooky Christmas we did. How many weeks have we been doing
We've
this?
been trying to do it. We haven't actually done it, but
I'll share my story again.
I can't hear that right.
Okay.
That's alright, dude. I'll yell. He says you're real handsome. Yeah. No, like mine is that I lived in that house in Brisbane, which I had found out after weird things were going on that the tenants that lived there had been engaged in trapping a ghost in the cupboard above the fridge.
That was great.
Yeah, so there's an evil ghost trapped above the fridge in this house. I went by the house recently. I don't know if I had gone by it when I told the story the first time, but I went by. I was up in Brisbane.
And you saw someone standing by the window.
No, it's been torn down.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's not there anymore.
It's not. It was
The
never
house
there
is just
to begin
gone. Yeah, that was my moment. I was like, what the fuck? Because I was in the car with people and they were like, where is it? And I was like, I think it's that one. That's the right number. And then they were like, what? And I was like, and then
as you left the house, just like.
Yeah, exactly. It just turned into these like new apartments.
God.
Well, yeah. No, it just turned into new apartments. It was an old house. It was run down. It was like
They do that with houses. It generally happens.
I was so surprised I didn't fall through the floor in that place once. But yeah, anyway. So yeah, they had a very strong sense of supernatural in that house. I'll say, probably the politest way to say it.
Yeah.
I've had that in my life as well. Like a lot. Like I've got relatives. Like my godmother is a psychic and stuff. Like that's what she does. I'm not sure. I'm on the fence for it personally, but I do feel, that it's a very strong force, that belief. So yeah. So for me, being in that room and like having the lights turn off and stuff by themselves and things, and then like hearing these stories and stuff was very like it got to me a lot. And like I started to get into that, and then like, and I don't know if you remember the ending of that story, but I
screamed at
I woke up in the middle of the night. Yeah, I was like, fuck off, dude. I've been cool with you, but I will seal this room up with fucking rock salt, you motherfucker. Like, I know your weaknesses.
I will pack a shotgun.
Yeah, like, I will find you. And like, it never happened again, which was super weird. I did move out pretty recently, pretty close to that, but like I was just fed up with the lights and stuff. I was just like, you fucking son of a bitch. I don't care if you're a little kid who had a bad childhood and died of like some disease. I don't care if you're a murderer. I don't care who you are. Just leave me alone. I was like, yeah. So I yelled at a ghost once.
Have you got any Dzaran?
How do I follow that? No, personally, not really. I mean, the most I've had personally is like just kind of simple stuff along the lines of like really bad deja vu and like hearing voices occasionally.
I'm sure.
I mean, there's been the occasional time where it's just along the lines of like I'm sure I hear someone call my name. I walk out and it's like, oh, the house is empty right now.
Yeah. That's it.
I'm going crazy. Okay.
No, that like 100%. Like I get that a lot. I hear a lot. Like my hearing isn't great. Like I'll be the first one to say that.
I guess it's a type of matrix thing though, where there's like when you hear a sound, your brain immediately like converts that sound to be feasible and make sense of it. It's called matrixing.
Well,
Same with images.
Yeah,
you see it like just like a mark, a
That's why you see faces and everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and why you can be like, oh, that tree has a face.
Like a bird might go, ah! And you're like, I swear that bird is like
said my name. And my Dr. Doolittle. No, like
so,
yeah, go for it.
Yeah. No, I was just gonna say. So I mean, not much really personally.
Yeah.
But I mean, again, like, the stories from the area can be a little odd. Like, I mean, depending on where you go, like, if you want to really say it, I mean, back like one area around here, they have stuff straight out of like the Middle Ages. It sounds practically because they have stories about like. Well, they have stories about like the fairies and the bog witch and all this stuff.
Oh, okay, cool. I thought you were gonna talk. I thought it was like one of those torture things. I was rewatching American Horror Story season 1 recently, so I'm like in that horror tours thing. Like,
no, they're talking about a story more along the lines of like a guy who went out into the woods and basically got lost for like 3 days and came back after describing this, horrible, stinking, like horrible haggish woman, like it's like that kind of stuff.
Blair Witch stuff.
And well, I mean, the other thing is, back in like turn of the century, where they talk about like, okay, we can't have our kids just go through the woods without protection. So what do? We give them bread.
Give them bread
to leave behind to feed like the fairies.
That's it. Yeah.
And we give them Bible passages.
Yeah, I mean, that's it. I still keep Bible passages locked up, ready to fight a ghost if I have to.
Your Our Fathers and all that sort of stuff. I've retained all that knowledge. String outs and like.
That's another discussion I want to have about religion with you guys, but that's something else.
I mean, if I talk about something a little more local, like a little more in town, now this isn't that creepy, but there's a place in town. It's a historical site now. It's called Newman's Wine Vault.
Okay.
So this is
that's scary already.
Well, I mean, it is kind of catacomb-like,
Sure.
But it is basically, it literally was the Newman Company where they would store wine that was brought in from like England and that, barrels and casks of it, right? And for exporting too. But there's like little stories, like stuff about like a couple of guys who are an extra barrel. It's like, oh, let's try some, and they open the barrel and like there's a head inside, that kind of stuff. But
standard.
Then you get into a little more detailed stuff where stuff like there's a short little story about Mr. Newman himself where apparently they keep finding weird stuff in barrels. Where they open a barrel and they find like it's like a mummified child, like baby. Now, okay, no. The idea isn't that like a little baby was murdered or something, okay?
Yeah,
It's more the thought that this was smuggled from like Africa as like an artifact.
Oh,
right. So they were trying to smuggle it that way, or maybe the East, Yeah,
that makes a lot of sense actually.
So what happened? The idea was he found this in one of the casks, one of the barrels, and he immediately, basically, his immediate response was, okay, we need to give this thing a proper burial.
Right.
So he goes ahead and does that.
Sensible.
Within about a day or two after doing that, and like consecrated ground, proper burial, within a day or two he has a dream about a woman who's basically warning him that he needs to, that one of his, that there's going to be this great disaster.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So what happens is basically the next shipment that's coming in, he buys insurance specifically on the cargo.
Yeah.
Just in case.
Sure, yeah.
Ship goes up in flame.
In flame?
Yep.
He burnt down that boat.
He couldn't have. He was here. This was in mid-ocean,
That's amazing. No, exactly. Like a boat burning down in mid-ocean is already like a weird thing.
Well, I mean, they have to have like candles and stuff on board.
Yeah, it is totally doable. You're right. But like, it's not the first thing you think of a boat doing, I guess.
Well, yeah. But, like, I hope I'm not screwing that story up.
I mean, that's great. I mean, it's still like, I don't know. I heard Kieran make the noise when it was happening, but like, it's still like so eerie and so like, it's about ghosts and babies and.
Well, I'll go into my list. My list is extensive.
Here we go.
Our family, like, I don't know, we all share our ghost stories and we try and get ghost stories from
that's cool.
And all that sort of stuff. So we got like this, I don't know, a cultural thing where it's like, yeah, we
just... It's like a family tradition.
Yeah, exactly.
I like that.
Anyway, so, what should I go for? First, I'll go for like a ghost story.
Yeah, like...
I have a list. I'll go for one that like was a complete fail. So there was this house near my granddad's, and it was meant for the person who built it. He built it for his daughter, and his daughter died in a car accident. So the house was never finished. So it's just literally a carcass of the house.
Right. Okay.
So we waited till midnight. Me and a friend. I'm like, oh, let's go there and let's check it out. So we went there. We walked around. It was the most passive thing we've ever done. It was like actually relaxing.
Oh, really?
It was pitch black. We were walking through rooms, and it was like you could just, we're like, this is just boring. This is like, I actually feel like I could just sleep here.
Yeah, this is a really nice house.
Yeah.
Maybe we should finish this. That's hilarious. Okay.
Alright, so
Oh
then
my
another
God.
ghost one. You know
Go.
Minion Falls?
Wait, so you guys... Okay, yeah.
I've done a couple.
Ghost Hunt.
You know Minion Falls?
I mean, take me next time, but yeah, go on.
Have you know Minion Falls?
I do. I know Minion Falls. There's a waterfall near where we live
Yeah.
called Minion Falls.
So there's the
Okay.
the history behind it is that lots of the natives were thrown off the top of Minion Falls when there was the whole like
yeah.
when white people came to Australia.
Yeah,
there's
there
like,
is that
there's
too.
like an eerie thing to do with like there's people think there's a witch there. Like lots of people in this area are alternative thinkers. That
Yeah.
they think there's lots of Wicca and stuff.
We come from hippie town.
Yeah, hippie town. Anyway, and there's lots of people who jump off Minion Falls.
Yeah, it's a
these days.
really
it's the major suicide place for people.
there's a big issue with youth suicide in the area just because of like,
Okay.
unemployment
But
and
from
stuff
like
that.
people experiencing it, they go there and then they tend to say that they feel the urge to actually just.
Yeah,
Normal
no,
people go there and they just feel the urge to jump, and it's like, why am I feeling this? Like, it's a big cliff. Why do I suddenly feel like I
No,
have to
you
jump
want to
off
go,
it?
yeah. I felt that. I was filming something up there. We filmed your music video
Yeah.
up there that we did
It's
with
weird,
you.
isn't
No, it's compelling, but that's like, it's a very human thing, I think, to be like, to think about limitations like that. And I do the same thing if I'm on like a tall building, you know. Like I think like, oh, just go off this, and like you get that weird like compelled feeling. But you know it's a dumb idea.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
you know it's not a good idea. It's not.
Anyway, I'll go into the story. So,
Okay.
so we went there, me and my cousin Dzaran, at midnight because we've been watching lots of Ghost Hunters, that crazy show.
You and Jared watch. I can imagine you two doing that.
It's so like ridiculous. Oh, did you see like the lamp move while I pulled delete? And like we'd heard these stories of Minion Falls, and Dzaran had just gone to an asylum in. I spoke about it as well.
Yeah.
We spoke about your thing in Tasmania.
Yeah.
They went to the asylum, him and a group of friends, and they saw a light on in there, and they managed to get in there, and it was like a shut down one. I can't remember the
So
name.
they broke
it was
in,
like
right?
Blackridge Asylum or something crazy like that.
Yeah, that sounds like.
And they said that they went into this room, and
Sounds like
everywhere in the distance they could see like a faint glow, so they're following the glow, and it led them to a room that had a bathtub in it still, like it still had stuff in.
Yeah,
this
yeah, of
asylum.
course. You know.
And then when they went into the room, they like all just felt this real like denseness,
Oh.
and then they just felt like this. They heard I think they said they heard a cough, like a and they just like all freaked out and left. And you know, you get that thing where your batteries go dead, everyone's phones went dead. They'd taken a bunch of pictures during the night.
Oh.
They'd taken a bunch of pictures, they got back, and the card was corrupted. There was
Oh
no
my
pictures on it.
god. That's so.
But people say when they took the pictures, like the theory, because there's like a whole history in Tasmania of this place being haunted, that
Yeah.
there would be an image of like a woman in some of the pictures and all that sort of
Okay.
stuff.
Yeah. That's
But anyway,
crazy.
so we went to Minion Falls, me and Dzaran, after we've been watching this, and he's been
Sounds like the
talking
right
about
cab
that.
to go with.
And I took my camera, and like we didn't really feel anything, and we were just walking around, taking pictures and stuff. And then it got to the point we went out onto the lookout, and we're like, all right, we'll just have a look out here before we leave. And Dzaran had his torch, and he felt something hit his hand. His
Yeah.
torch fell out of his hand,
What?
went down the cliff, and landed on a branch that was just hanging out over the cliff.
Oh.
And then Dzaran suddenly starts to climb over the top.
Oh.
And I'm like, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I can just reach that. And I'm like, no, you cannot.
Yeah,
That
no.
is down there. So I pulled him back, and I said, why are you thinking you can do that? And he's like, but
I don't know.
really know. I
Holy
just thought like
shit.
my first impulse was to go get my torch. I'm like, yeah, we should
That's
probably-
insane. Like.
Yeah.
What? Jared, no.
So why?
I met
I
Jared.
know it was
I
his
went
favourite
too.
torch as well. He's like showing me the torch beforehand. Oh, look at my
It's
torch.
my
It's like so cool. Because it was like a metal one. And,
Yeah,
I don't know,
sure.
he had a torch on it.
Oh, like a mag light kind of thing? Yeah.
So that's one. And then there's another one that's the pizza ghost when I worked at the pizza shop.
What?
I was
Yeah, all right.
I was there I was closing the shop one night, and you feel like there's something behind you, and that's
Yeah,
what's
sure.
happening.
Oh, that's Byron.
Something
all
going
over,
into the cool room, and always near the cool room. And I said to like the other people who closed, and they said, yeah, well, that's pretty much comes with it.
The ghost
Actually,
comes with
yeah, exactly. We've all seen it.
We all know about the ghost
Yeah.
here. Just calm down.
So what are you talking
Weirdo.
And they used to we used to always tell ghost stories late at night. That would be like the tradition at that pizza place.
Oh, that's cool.
It'd be like we'd all
That's really
see if
cute.
anyone had any ghost stories, and while we're cleaning up the pizza shop, we all swapped them.
That's cool.
Yeah.
I like that.
And like one of the girls, she said that she had a haunted house while we were there, and she said that it was haunted, and she'd hear someone running up and down the hallway.
Ooh.
And she said that it happened after they did like a seance thing.
Yeah.
And then they had to do another seance
to get rid of
it, and then it went away.
Oh, that's when that kind of happens, it's like it could just be that you're giving yourself that sense of security, and you're like, I did a seance, it's okay now. But like, it's super real, right? Like it's scary. Yeah. I mean, you know, from like your streams, and I just like, I am terrified. Like that's my like whole. Like, it's just horror games.
I'll tell you what happened to Dzaran. This is another thing that happened to Dzaran when we were little kids.
Yeah.
We're having a bath, and it was just me and him in the bath. We were probably like 4 years old.
Yep.
And I remember just like, we were just hanging out. Parents were in like another room. Dzaran got out of the bath, left the room, walked down the hallway, collapsed.
What?
His head had been split open.
Had been or was when he collapsed?
No, when he collapsed, his head was split open. He had to go to hospital, and they had to put stitches in his head. Yeah. And they think that as he ran out of the room, he hit his head like on the doorknob or like the handle of the door.
Sure.
And like cut his head open, but the fact that it was so deep.
Yeah.
And then we found out later that there was a murder in that house, and the guy had murdered someone in that hallway where he collapsed.
Oh.
And so that was like what the family sort of told me, and I was like, "It's so bizarre, isn't it?"
What the fuck?
And because I don't remember, like he got out of the bath.
Straight up.
I didn't see who was normal. He walked just the way, and that's happened.
Yeah. So yeah, where did his skull fracture come in? I guess is the real question.
Yeah,
like
they think that he did it on the
ghost did it.
Yeah, it was like a ghost murderer. Like
I don't know. I don't think the ghost did it. I just think it's weird that it would happen in the same.
I mean, like if he just like ran off for no reason, that's like I instantly gravitate to a thought of that replicating the incident, right? Like that replicating the incident that is the haunting is about.
Creepy, that.
Yeah, no, that's terrifying.
And everyone had sort of said that house was a little bit weird because my granddad, you know, he was house juggling, so he bought a house, he renovated it, then he sold that house and moved on to a bigger house, and that was one of the houses in between that he bought it and he was fixing it up. He had his family there, and he was just going to sell it on and then move on to the next one.
Okay. Yeah, that's
so
sort of going go about things. Yeah, that's crazy.
I know.
Dude.
And then another house, the next house, the house my granddad lives in now. The house my granddad lives in now, everyone's had the same dream of a dead baby in this one room.
I want to know what Dzaran's question was for.
All I was gonna say is what I'm taking away from this is you guys desperately need the Ghostbusters down there.
For sure, we do.
It's gonna be those.
I mean, my granddad's house they've bought because they're really religious. My grandma, she's like a strict Christian. Yeah. So she brought in like an exorcist sort of thing into the house. Yeah, sure. Because everyone was having this dream whenever they slept in this one room of a baby drowning.
Jesus.
I had the dream. I was playing golf. It was really weird. I was playing golf, and then we looked in the dam, like a water thing, and there was just a floating baby in it.
Oh.
And I woke up, and I'm like, that's terrifying. Told other people, and they're like, yeah, well, we've had that dream. We've had the dream of a baby in like a bathtub drowned, a baby in the kitchen sink drowned, a baby at the beach drowned. It's just this weird recurring thing that happened to the family.
What?
Yeah.
I would definitely think something's going on when that kind of thing happens.
Yeah.
That's like
and
a legitimate ghost story.
They brought the exorcist into that room, and then they sort of did their chant, walked around.
Yep.
And it's recurred a couple of times with people saying I've had this weird dream again.
Took the motions, yeah.
But I mean, my granddad built that house. That's the thing. My granddad.
Like that. Like it would have to
on a clear block of land.
Like it would have been something that happened in the land.
The only thing is they think
land.
That block of land, it was like a communal area for Aboriginal people.
That's what I was going to say. Yeah.
So they don't like the whole area of Currajong, Hermitage Road is like that's the local Aboriginal tribe. That's where they were because it was like it was sheltered area.
Yeah, it
didn't rain much. It didn't flood.
Yeah, it was a good place to live.
Yeah,
it's for nomads.
Mm-hmm.
For sure.
Yeah. So that was weird.
But that's it. Like like if you want to talk, that's like a good reason why all the ground in this whole country would be up for hauntings, because like beyond the ones that the colonists showed up in the like graveyards they made, like they bury in mounds like other tribal cultures, and they traveled a lot, so like their dead would end up everywhere.
Yeah.
And I totally, if you're into ghosts, this is a good place.
I've got
Oh, come on.
Alright, so
Oh my
give me another one.
God.
my granddad was renovating a house in the area because he was painting for these
Yeah.
people, and they had like an old house and they'd renovated half of it.
Sure.
And so granddad was in the older section, just like painting the walls to match it to the renovated section.
Yep.
And what happened was he was up on top of a ladder, above a doorway. Doorway was next to him. Someone walked through the doorway
Yeah.
and went into the old kitchen that was there.
Okay.
And he turned around and he sort of like, he was painting, he sort of went like that, and he saw someone standing there.
Mm.
And then he immediately thought it was like, it's the person who lived there sort of thing. But then it didn't click until after that the person was dressed all in old, like, brown like suit sort of thing, like old clothes.
Yeah, like an old time.
And so he was saying stuff to them, turned around, there was no one there anymore.
Yeah.
And so then Francie, my grandma, went to the house, and my mum,
Mm.
and they walked through the renovated place. And as the minute they passed through the doorway where it was now not renovated, they all both like felt that jolt of like electricity through them, you know, like when you go, ugh.
Yeah,
Sort of thing,
that's all like,
and they didn't know Granddad's story, and Granddad's like, well, actually, like,
there's a ghost.
pretty much that just happened.
Oh no, this place is really haunted. Yeah. I've been calling him Clancy.
What else have we
crazy.
got?
Have you got more?
Yeah. So
Holy crap, you were the most haunted guy on the channel.
Ghost Shack,
Ghost Shack.
that's what I've named it here. But when I first moved to this area, like I wasn't a local. I sort of moved here. Me and Mom left where we used to live and waiting for a house. We stayed in a tent for a while.
Oh
We
yeah.
had like a tent, and I'd go to school and I'd go back to my tent. We stayed in the pub for a while.
That's the pub's night. I know there's families that stay there.
Yeah, and then we finally got a house that was like someone's, like, that was their shack that they lived in while they were building their main house, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of those in the area.
Oh, for sure.
And so it had like solar
granny
power,
fence.
it had like barely any water, it was really shoddy, like it had
Oh,
gaps
yeah.
in the
I
floorboards.
get you, dude. I've been in some grand
And it was in the
flats all
middle
the time.
In the middle of the dark woods.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
just
right.
massive tall trees everywhere.
You lived out in the hills.
Yeah, out in the hills.
And
One night, there was two shacks. My shack was separate to my mom's shack,
Okay.
and it was like
That's
there was
awesome.
bush in between us, sort of thing.
Yep.
But mine, two of the walls were completely made of glass, all made of different shaped windows,
Fuck.
which I was fine with.
I
Nothing
mean, that's
ever.
cool.
The only
Yeah.
thing that ever happened in that room was I walked in once and I felt something hit me in the shoulder, and when I turned around, I was facing a mirror, and I was like, "What?" And it was like one of my mirrors was there, and I sort of got the knock, and I'm like facing my own mirror, and it's like
That's like
weird.
another haunted ghost story.
So anyway, I heard Mum screaming one night.
Yeah.
She's going, "Come quick, come quick, come quick!" Like screaming through her window towards me.
Yeah.
And so I ran down, and there was nothing. And she said that the doorknob on the house was spinning rapidly, and she heard thumping on the veranda because we had this big round doorknob. Like it was big, like it was an old-fashioned one that you just pretty much used to push the door because it had a lock that you locked like that.
Yeah.
And she said it was spinning like, and we thought like, was it a possum that had like climbed onto it? It was like going like this, which is like it was spinning round and round and round, and there was thumping. And then when I came down, it was just complete still.
Right.
And so that then like another thing that happened at that place was my uncle. He lived up above us, so we're sort of like my uncle was up here, we were down here,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
he used to always come down at night and he'd like go, "Oh, do you guys got any milk or anything for a cup of tea or anything like this?"
Uh-huh.
And what we'd see a flickering glow, like just like someone holding a lantern sort of thing, which he would hold, like to walk from one house to the other. There's no street lights, there's
of
nothing.
course.
You had to have a torch.
Yeah. You don't like.
And so you'd see it coming down, and you'd be like, you'd go out the door. It happened a few times. You went out the door to greet it, and then there was nothing out there.
Yeah.
And so then we realized, we're like, That's not our uncle. So next time it happened, we just like watched this light flickered around the house, and then the minute we opened up the door, it disappeared.
What? Jeez.
Oh,
That's like the best one so far. I'm gonna put that at top of the.
All right, my uncle's house is Sydney.
Oh God. Okay, hold on.
Okay.
Before you continue.
Yeah.
Okay, Kieran. Between the consoles, the pets, and now the ghosts,
Yeah.
you are downright magical.
Yeah, you have like this aura. Like what? Like.
I don't know.
Are
The
you
ghost
a wizard?
stories are not.
Yeah, are you Dr. Doolittle for ghosts? Like.
They're not all my like. Some of them are my experiences, but they're like some of them are passed on to me. But
I mean by blood, yeah.
yeah.
But like,
I don't know.
but yeah, he makes a solid point. It's like
I think
got a lot going
consoles
on.
mainly break because of anger issues. I don't know.
my anger aura. no, but they do just like no
Our
offense,
family's
no
like
offense.
renowned for collecting tales, though. Like
Collecting
having,
tails.
like not actual tails.
Oh yeah, I was gonna say.
Our family, we like cut the tails. Off
Yeah, I was
cats
like,
and
we have all these
stuff.
taxidermed rabbit tails in a box.
No, like like it's
Yeah, no,
bard
for
sense,
sure.
Like we
Yeah,
sort
yeah.
of pass on like stories.
I've
from
always
family.
got that from you guys, for
Yeah.
sure.
Like if you speak to my mom, she's like every single time she's got
She's stories, yeah. Yeah, I love Lisa. Yeah, okay.
Alright, so my uncle's house in Sydney.
You are though. He's right. You're like, you should be like a mascot. You're like a Pokemon. It's said that things happen when Kierans are around. Got another one for me?
Yeah, my uncle's house in Sydney. I didn't know anything about it.
Yeah.
But my uncle's renovating a house because he's sort of following in his dad's footsteps.
Okay,
my
sure.
granddad, like,
Yeah.
he wants to buy this house, renovate it, and sell it on and get a better house.
I mean, that's a
sort of thing.
cool way to go.
And so the house is pretty old. It had a false ceiling, so he knocked out the false ceiling, and he actually found that the ceiling was like an extra meter than it was actually meant to be.
Oh, okay.
There was a meter of blank space in the house, so once he removed that, he like saw it had all the filigree stuff and all this stuff.
Yeah, wow.
And
Why would they bother? Yeah, okay.
the house actually burnt down as well. But I'll go into that.
That's the next ghost story.
So at the same time, my uncle's got a lot of dogs. He's got a passion for animals.
Yep.
And so he takes in dogs. I can see if he sees a stray, he'll be like straight there. He'll take it to the vet, get it
That's
microchip,
great.
keep the dog himself.
I mean,
pass on
it's
somewhere.
great as long as it's not someone else's pet. I know
I think he
people.
might have done that.
I know. A friend's grandma does that. If she
Takes
sees,
other people's
if she
pets.
sees dogs in the park and stuff that aren't like supervised for 30 seconds,
Right.
she'll be like, oh well.
I mean, he found a dog
Neglecting
called
that dog.
Charlie, which was like a little Maltese, and it had a collar and stuff.
Yeah, right.
But he tried to get in touch with the owners, and they obviously just abandoned the dog. They didn't want to.
Yeah,
have it
obviously
in touch.
she's keeping track
So
of
he's
it.
like, well,
And if he's going and microchipping it, then they'll have a microchip if they're
Yeah,
someone's
exactly.
dog and stuff. Like there's I'm not saying your uncle's stealing dogs.
Yeah, I know. So the dogs would bark at the same time. I can't remember what time it was. They'd bark and run up and down the landing, like where the front door was and where the lounge room was.
stoop.
They just do it, bark non-stop. They'd all get up, bark to the front door, bark back again, and stop.
Right.
And then my uncle, he takes in dogs, but he also takes in people who are like a little bit down on their luck as well.
Oh wow.
And so he has people
God,
stay.
this guy is like a charity
He's a good
man.
guy.
Wow.
And he took in this guy called Rusty, who was like just like a guy with a big beard. And, he's just sort of
Yeah.
nomadic, find his way around.
Yeah.
And he's like, Rusty left by the morning, and he wrote a note that says, "Thanks for having me, Sean, but I can't do it with ghosts." That's all he wrote. It's like, we don't know, no one's spoken to, like, we have spoken to him, but he won't talk about it.
Thanks for
And
having me.
Sean renovated the bathroom,
Yeah.
and I was in the kitchen one time, and I was in the house by myself, and Sean had taken the dogs with him, and I saw, as I walked into the kitchen, I saw like the back of someone's foot, as if they had just walked into the bathroom,
Sure.
and I went there, and no one was there.
Yeah.
My cousin said he's literally seen the figure of someone standing in that hallway, because the bathroom comes off of that hallway.
Yeah.
He's seen the figure of someone standing there, a big tall man.
Wow.
My mum has experienced a lot of that sort of stuff as well, like seeing stuff in the corner of your eye.
Yeah.
Then
for sure.
me and my mate were staying in one of the rooms, that was filled with boxes, and my mate felt like a wet hand or like a lick on his face. He thought it was a dog, and it was weird. And he's like, it was dark, and he says to me, "Did you just like lick my face?"
Yes, I did.
Yeah, of course I did. No.
I lied.
I didn't, and he's like, turns on light, and he's like, "Is there a dog in here?" And it's like, "No." Like, what are you saying? It's like, I just felt like a cold touch on my face or something.
Oh, that seems.
And then in that same room, that room was cleared out, renovated. My cousin slept in it.
Yeah.
My cousin dropped a cigarette and burnt down that room. Only that room.
What?
The fire like completely just melted all that, and like smoke came through the front, sort of thing.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
So, like, it's just weird that it happens there.
Yeah, no, that's so strange. Like,
and this is recent as well. My mom went there like 2 weeks ago. She went there 2 weeks ago.
Wait, that's still in the family?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
She went there 2 weeks ago. The house is still there. Like, Mum was still renovating it. Still in work.
Just checking.
And for some reason, she couldn't take any phone calls in the house, even if she had full reception.
Whoa.
What would happen? Like, I'd ring her. She'd be like, "Oh, it happened the first time." She's like talking to me, and it just cuts out. And she's like, "I've got full reception." So she goes outside, rings again, it's fine. The minute she steps back into the house, it cuts out. She says, "This has been happening to me, it doesn't happen to anyone else."
That's amazing.
Even when I like phone my boyfriend, it's happened.
Yeah.
And then like, she was talking to her, and then it cut out again, and then I rang her again, and she goes like, "I'm sick of this," and then she did that confrontation thing.
Yeah, you gotta call them out, man.
But the phone cut out.
Yeah.
And I like heard this weird static on the other line before it cut out, like this, and I'm like, "Holy shit, what she done?" As she's confronting it, she's like saying, "Stop it, whatever."
Yeah,
I'm gonna make a phone call.
Yeah, I'm just trying to talk to my son.
Yeah, and then I couldn't ring her.
Yeah.
I couldn't text the phone. I couldn't get through, and I'm like, "Holy crap!" Has she just been like, she would be like taken, and then she's just like, "Oh, my phone just completely shut off completely." So it could just be a phone.
Yeah, I mean, dodgy,
my
but like at the same time. That confrontation thing, you gotta stand up for yourself. Can't let the dead push you around, guys.
What else have I got?
That's a good.
Oh, jeez.
Alright, so the apartment.
Okay. Hold on. No.
Yeah, we need breaks in between these.
I know how to put this in the best terms. I hope you remember your Pokemon descriptions right now.
Oh, I do.
If Kieran was a Pokemon, he'd be an Absol.
Oh my god!
What's the Absol?
He would. That's a good one.
I know. It's the guy with the blade on his head.
Yeah, but have you read his Pokedex entry?
I'll
pull it up for you. You don't have to pull it up in your decks. You just keep telling me stories. I'll get it for you. That's amazing, dude. I didn't even think of that, Dzaran. That's so smart. Yeah, it's said that Absol. Well, Absol has two sides to him. The general assumption of Absol. The general assumption of Absol, where is his Pokedex entries on this thing? There it is. You can just quickly read that. But
Sense disaster.
You read it. Good idea.
Upcoming disasters, natural disasters, followed by a disaster. It's known as the disaster Pokemon.
Yeah. But people think it's because
foretell.
Yeah, it can foretell it.
I've had dreams about tidal waves a few times. They really It's true.
Was there a tidal wave a few days later?
Oh, there was a tidal wave warning.
Yeah, there was.
We had a few warnings.
I don't know. Yeah, like
it's creepy.
It's creepy. I like that. That was interesting as well. You mentioned Pokemon, sort of like which Pokemon Kieran reminds you of, kind of thing. I've always sort of gravitated to. It was just interesting that your favorite turned out to be Banette, because like it's totally like up your alley with that grin and stuff. It's like a creepy version of you. Like
my shiny shopper.
My shiny shop. Oh, dude, that shiny. I'm proud of you. Good job getting a shiny. Anyway, Absol.
Alright, so the apartments I work at. I just want to go into this. This is the last one.
Okay, go for it.
This ties in with my bookshop and what I've experienced there. I've forgotten my little diary that I've been taking to the bookshop.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So the apartments, there's like upstairs room 28, which is the last room, which is the biggest room.
Yeah.
For some reason, just weird stuff tends to gravitate towards that place in the apartments.
Okay.
But like the whole place, like people have said they've smelt male perfume, like a really, not like
cologne?
like a cologne.
Yeah.
But like this really distinct one, and they will be able to follow a path of where this cologne's leading, or they might be down in the car park, and all of a sudden they just get this whiff of cologne, and then they can sort of track it. And like when I'm sitting in the shop, I have like a whiff of cologne, and there's like no one around, and then you sort of go out and you're like, well, there's that fucking smell again.
And it's like and it's like leading you somewhere too.
But there's been I'll start off with this. So it's not my experience, but the complaint they had was in room 28, in one of the bedrooms. A pregnant lady got locked in the room and the door wouldn't open.
Oh, what?
And she came down and she says, I cannot stay in this room. The door slammed shut on me and I couldn't get out. And it just imposed, like,
it's like,
they complained, and then she said, is there anything wrong with that room? So then they got like a healer sort of thing to come in and do white sage.
Yep.
But I used to clean the apartments. And in that room, like, we've had left a bottle upstairs, like a spray bottle.
Yep.
And then we've come downstairs and the bottle's just been thrown down the staircase.
Like with force, obviously.
Yeah, with force, you like see the bottle start rolling down the staircase. It's like, well, I left that upstairs.
Is it like windy?
No,
it's super windy.
Like, you can close all the windows.
I've been in that apartment too, like when you were having, because you had your little prep for you getting dressed.
So that's room 23 that we stayed in, but room 28 was. Remember when I went out there and I asked, can I have any towels?
Yeah.
There was like a cupboard and there's a doorway. That's room 28.
Right. So and that was like that wasn't exposed to wind at all. For sure.
So then, if you leave and forget a rag somewhere upstairs as well, the rag will like float down sometimes. Like that's happened a few times. Like, it's sort of like helpful.
It's sort of helpful.
Then once I'm vacuuming.
Would be an old cleaner.
In the same bedroom that the pregnant lady had her experience, and I was vacuuming. And you have like the backpack, like astronaut vacuum thing.
Yep.
And I went out, I'm like going, I come back, I go to do another place, the lead's shorter. I'm like, this is like, why is the lead shorter? I had more length. I come back, I go to another place, the lead's shorter again.
Yeah.
And then I walk out, and then it's not tangled on anything. So I pull it out, unravel it, walk back in.
Yeah.
The lead gets real short, tugs on me, and sparks. And I almost got electrocuted. It like sparked and shorted out the vacuum cleaner.
Fuck.
And I'm like, holy crap. So I take it off, I go downstairs and I tell them like the vacuum cleaner needs to be fixed and all this stuff.
Yeah.
And they're saying like,
it's haunted.
Why is this happening? It's
a haunted vacuum cleaner. It doesn't need to be fixed. So. That's crazy, dude.
Oh man.
Is that that's the end of the list?
Yeah. So now in my bookshop, I'll just go into that.
Yeah.
So I've like found people say like a book just got thrown out at me. I've been hit with the book. We come in and found
that's like slapstick
big load that we hung from the ceiling. There was like this full globe of the earth. It had fallen and got skewered on a ruler.
Okay.
But like perfectly straight through like that. We've had stuff pulled up that we've hung up, and it's come through like a little tornado and like messed up a bunch of books.
Jeez.
Books in stacks.
Yeah.
The sound of people walking through the aisle, the sound of people scratching like this.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like haunted.
Yeah, and I've got like a little book. Every time it would happen, I'd be like, well, that just happened. Well, someone just complained to me about that.
Oh, right, so you're keeping track of every instance.
Of it. Like, it had nothing that's happened since. Like, I got that same healer who's sort of there, and I said, like, do you want to
do my shop a little bit? You want to sprinkle a little bit of it?
Well, then.
Oh, the best thing. Like, my calculator. My calculator, I had it on the bench, and I leave it there, and I had a glass tabletop, and I came back in the next day, the calculator's gone, and I'm like, I always put the calculator there.
Yeah.
And I looked around for ages, and then I looked under the glass tabletop, and the calculator was in the same spot, just below the glass, as if it had just literally just gone.
You're being haunted by like David Blaine, like some shitty magician. It's like, now I'm gonna pass it through the wall. He's wearing bad cologne and stuff, and like I can make this move. There.
Someone with like an invisibility.
Isn't that just what ghosts are? Someone invisible. That's crazy, dude. Man. That is a list.
So.
Wow.
Oh, man. So on top of all the animals there that'll kill you, you got to worry about the ghosts down in Australia too. All right.
Yeah.
Well, that's it. Yeah. Just make sure you bring some. I think garlic, right?
Yeah.
Garlic's what goes down like.
Garlic, holy
water. Holy water, silver bullet.
Garlic. Okay. No, wait. No. Okay. I know
there is-
something.
Oh yeah, go for it.
Well, I need to. I'm
I know one thing.
All right.
Oh, okay.
No, yeah, I mean, I'll just say this quickly. Well, unless you want to just go for it.
Well, no, I was gonna say two little things. Just one, I remember I did screw up that story before.
Yeah.
I accidentally mixed two stories together.
Okay, yeah, right. That's easy.
Well, what happened was the two separate stories are one, because again, for the wine place, a lot of it is finding crap in barrels.
Yeah, sure. And that's the horror story for any like food production.
Well,
right?
yeah. I mean,
it's...
well, yeah. Well, I mean, we're talking now. This is more like 1700s, 1800s, and that, right?
Oh, right. Cool.
I accidentally mixed two stories here because one was just he'd opened a barrel, found actually the remains of what looked to be a young woman.
Oh.
Now
Yeah,
the belief was that she was smuggled for the slave trade.
Yeah, sure. In a barrel, it could be big enough for it.
Exactly, and died, on the way.
Yeah, right. Oh Jesus.
So he again got her buried properly.
This guy's like the nicest dude.
Well, I think it was just kind of the whole Christian thing. It's like, oh, okay, well, we need to bury them.
I mean, yeah,
burial.
What are you gonna do with this body that you've been given?
Yeah.
That's a good point.
And then that's where he dreamed of the woman that warned him one of his ship was going to have a problem.
Right.
And he got the insurance, and that ship sank.
Yeah.
I accidentally mixed that with the other story, which was he experienced, like, at a certain point, a number of his ships were catching fire. Like, basically just ships were going up in flames, and they couldn't figure out what was happening. Aside from, like, is this just... Well, they were like, is this just bad luck? And then that's when he found the barrel with the small baby mummy kind of thing. And then after they got that buried, the fire stopped.
Right. Okay.
That was how that story worked.
That's crazy. So, but then having to deal with two bodies as well.
Now, these were obviously like, I don't know what the time between them was or anything, but yeah.
Sure.
It's just like a storied history with the company.
No, for sure. But that's a good story.
Well, I mean, the other thing was, I was going to say, there's one thing I can say that is probably guaranteed to give you both chills.
Here we go.
Oh, no, it's very simple.
Yeah.
Right here, right now, with the wind chill, it's -20.
Yeah.
Oh, Jesus. It's like having a ghost. Wait, I'll check the temperature.
Probably like
Oh, God.
Yeah, I would guess around mid to high 30s here.
if you get a cup of water and you throw it outside.
-20?
Yeah. Well, that's with wind chill.
Before it hits the ground. Like in cartoons, like when you throw it and it's just like, shoot.
No, I mean, that is with wind chill.
Yeah.
That'd be amazing.
So, I mean, without wind, I think it's -10.
That's still, I've never experienced cold like that.
No, I've never been. I've had -1 or 2.
I've been in a cool room.
Yeah, I've been in a cold. Yeah, I've definitely been in. I've bought beer before.
No, I don't know what the hell the temperature would have to be where you just kind of throw a jug of water and
I would love to see that.
in midair.
That's like dream.
That's like liquid nitrogen temperatures, I think.
Yeah, like the wind is liquid nitrogen. Okay, we are getting. Oh, it's only 20. Its highs are 29 today, so that's not so bad. But there are meant to be thunderstorms coming.
But there's no wind or anything. So
Again,
it's just still.
Again, you said highs of 20 or 29?
29 today.
Yeah, that's pretty damn hot here.
I mean, that's it here too. You know, it's like.
Oh, okay.
We're not hot as in it's not. It's like that like all the time, pretty much, and like even winter gets to what, like 10 to 15. It's probably as cold as we go.
We're in like a tropical, subtropical area.
Yeah,
subtropics. For sure.
We're definitely not.
Yeah.
Dear God.
I still like that. I love that we have these two sides of it, and that we have like it's so interesting talking to people from other climates, and like That might be the nerdiest, most small talk thing I could say.
Yeah.
Like, I really do think it's interesting. Like the fact that it's the opposite, like it's just -20 there.
Yeah.
It's insane.
Well, I mean,
I could
like, where you are, you normalize it. So
yeah.
I mean, I've been living with that the whole time here. So you know, it's
Exactly.
just like, oh, that's just what I call, winter.
Yeah. Yeah, we whinge about the heat, but like I'm used to it, I'm used to being sweaty. I'm ready for this time of year to come around.
Oh, I am so glad I only have to endure that for a couple months in summer.
I mean, yeah, this will start cooling down again. What, January?
I mean, yesterday was pretty cold with the storm.
Yeah, we're looking at a wet winter because we have about 95% humidity every day. So it is
okay.
just.
We do match up there. We do have a lot of humidity here too, and that's
Really?
well, I think that's just from both places being an island,
Yeah. Yeah, of course. That's it. That's super interesting.
I mean, when everywhere is coastal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you're by the ocean.
Man.
You can travel about an hour or two inland and it just dries up. Yeah.
Yeah.
Desert. Center of Australia, just desert.
Yeah, no one lives there. All the farmers are leaving. It's so bad. I still say we should. Okay, that's like a whole other topic about putting people in the desert. Well, no, like
here's what we'll do. If you're ever up here, middle of winter, I'll make sure to take you to a frozen pond so you can just walk right over it. And,
so magical to me. I'll show you a whale. I'll take you to see whales or something. No, you probably get those.
Yeah, we do.
I'll take you to see dry. We have dry stuff.
Oh my god.
There's a lot of dead grass.
How about red dirt?
Yeah, you want to see red dirt?
Surface is dry. It's gone red, being bleached by the sun.
Actually, no. We have
How about you just show me all those animals that'll kill me?
There you go. Yeah, we'll take you. We can go up to Currumbin. We got platypuses there.
We'll go into the backyard and
in the backyard.
Yeah. Have some fun.
This might sound like a silly question. I mean, they're not actually like aggressive, are they? Like,
I mean, they're territorial for sure.
Which one's it?
Oh,
I'm talking platypuses. I'm so saying. I'm answering a question about platypuses. I'm assuming that's what you were.
yeah, that's why I meant platypus.
Yeah, they're territorial because they have nests. They lay eggs.
But they're really they hide from it.
They
spot
oh, for sure. But if you step on it, then you're paralyzed.
It's only the male one.
I think the male has the defense mechanism.
Under one of its legs.
It's like in its fin somewhere. This is my hand.
It's more that they don't actually hit you with it. It's if you step on it
and then they
defense.
What's like a defense mechanism?
Like, I mean, it's supposed to be like similar to the thing like a dog has a dew claw.
Oh yeah, sure.
I think it's supposed to be put like similar to that physically.
Sort of like the thumb.
Yeah.
Kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up here, so
or like a backwards finger. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Claw.
It's set up as a defense mechanism for sure. Like just. I don't know. They're not aggressive. Like they're not like wombats, koalas.
They're gonna come at it and attack you.
No, like everything else will though.
Yeah, I'm more afraid of
being chased by a brown snake.
Wait.
That was scary.
Yeah.
What, were you about to say wombats and koalas are aggressive or no?
Oh yeah, they're angry. They're pissed off
Really?
all the time. Well, koalas are a bit
If
better.
you go close to it, it'll probably just spin around and get you with its double thumbs.
Yeah, it's got climbing claws, so it just latches in.
And bite you with that chunk and then just jump off.
It could. I mean, they're more docile because they eat leaves that are full of drugs essentially. Like the eucalyptus leaves that they eat exclusively, they get all of their water from that. They get all of their nutrients, and it has this poison in it. So they're really docile creatures, but they do get grumpy.
The noise they make is
yeah, that's it. You can do that really well. It's spot on. Yeah. It's like mating.
So I mean, you want to make sure one's been well fed before you do anything.
Yeah, you just don't want to get too close to it, really. And you don't want to stop it climbing trees.
Would be diseases.
Yeah, you'd be more worried about
There's
tetanus and stuff.
real bad plagues with the koalas, where lots of them have
illness,
chlamydia.
Oh yeah, they do.
Oh my god.
Yeah, the Tasmanian devil has those face tumors and sexually transmitted koala diseases.
Oh my god. Okay.
But yeah, I mean,
Wow.
anyone would put stuff if they had chlamydia.
I don't. I don't know why. For some reason, I feel a bit of comfort that most of the animals that'll kill me up here are bigger than me.
Yeah.
Right? Like, that's the thing. Like,
They're not like
Out of the house, get struck by.
we're not
like
worried about a
spider.
spider or a snake or like
that's it. It's so much more paranoid.
something. Well, if something's gonna kill me, I mean, the smallest it'll be is probably I don't know, like a wolf, maybe a couple coyotes or something.
Yeah, like a dog. Like,
Wombats, like, they're mainly aggressive towards children, weirdly enough.
well, yeah, anything because we're big, like, they see us as a threat, but they can barrel you over. Like, they're so
they're
sturdy.
solid.
If they hit your leg, you're
It's like a
down.
little boulder.
Wait,
Good.
a what?
A wombat.
A wombat.
Oh, a wombat. Okay.
Yeah, a little, like Grand Koala.
I was told a story when I was a kid that this family, like, I'm sure, like, it was a true story. This family, like,
Killed by wombats.
not the whole family wasn't killed by wombat, but their daughter had gone out into the backyard and seen a wombat hole. So I'll just crawl down the wombat hole, and the wombat was in there, and it just, like,
Oh my
got
god.
claws, and it just sort of struck her heaps and heaps of times, and they found her
Oh,
in the wombat hole. And that's why I was
messed
told,
up,
like,
dude.
just don't go out.
just don't go out.
Don't go near the wombats.
Oh my god.
Just don't leave the wombat hole.
Maybe you need to create a story about a were-wombat.
That's it. We could make a cautionary tale. Yeah.
Oh god, no, I have to bring this up now just briefly.
Yeah.
Like, do you watch much along the lines of horror films?
Yeah, I'm a
no.
sucker for it. Because I went to film school.
The cheesy
and-
stuff and
Oh yeah, no, I love it, dude. Like for what I'm bad at for games, I am great at for movies.
the reason I bring it up is there was a movie, I think it was from New Zealand.
Oh,
Black Sheep.
yeah, Black
I
Sheep.
think I've seen, yeah,
We've seen
one.
that. Yeah. Oh my god, I remember when that came out.
Is there like a scene where it's on top of the car or something?
Yeah.
And they're trapped in the car and it's just on there going,
And yeah, but then there's like herds of sheep around them
Yeah.
as well. Yeah, yeah. It's a
And
sheep
then
werewolf.
there's the were sheep.
Yeah. I love that. That's like, there is a joke in that is super uncomfortable. Because like I'm half New Zealand. Like I'm like half my family's from New Zealand.
Yeah.
So like, there's this
Oh,
weird thing.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think I know what you're talking about.
It's just that thing where the guy comes out of the like bathroom in his underwear and he's like obviously been getting laid, and then there's like a sheep follows him out, and it's like what? And just like
I don't get that. I don't really understand that. We have
Now,
sheep on.
we have that many sheep too. Exactly. That's my weird thing. Is
Uh,
Australians have heaps of sheep
The
too.
weirdest thing
Why
is
are they
like,
sheep breeders?
if you've watched Flight of the Conchords, the reference to the toothbrush.
I know
fence.
them.
Just-
It's like the longest fence in the world made out of toothbrushes.
Oh my.
That's so good.
Why in New Zealand?
It's amazing.
Actually,
Oh, New Zealand has the steepest street in the world, and there's a guy who lives at the bottom of the street, and he prints off certificates
Yeah.
and sells them to people, tourists who come to see the steepest street. It's like this.
Yeah. No, I've seen it.
And he gives them the certificates that says, "I survived the steepest
That's
street."
great. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
This certificate certified.
Yeah.
oh,
No,
man.
I like Black Sheep a lot though.
Yeah.
I mean, that's amazing. What have you seen the video of the Segway on the steepest street in the world? There's a guy on a Segway and it's just like leaning almost like parallel to the street. It's so fun. But yeah, anyway, streets aside.
There's a steep
yeah.
street here. Have you seen that one? It's
No.
like in Ocean Shores. There's like at the end of the cul-de-sac. There's a driveway.
Yeah.
It's like a block of flats. We're looking at them because we were like we wanted to rent them, and you have to have an off-road four-wheel drive to get up it because the
Jesus.
driveway's like this. They're like
Oh my god.
there's like concrete things that are just big enough for your wheels. So if you slip up, your car's just gonna go straight back down.
Jesus Christ. That's bad. I mean, yeah. Steep streets. No, Black Sheep. Did you? Yeah, I've seen that. We saw that in high school. I think it came out.
Yeah.
Came out when we were younger.
Hmm.
I love that movie. That's one. It's so cheesy. It's like really.
No, yeah.
It's so perfect for that cheese factor.
Exactly.
I mean, and in my mind, it's
Mix
the
of
first.
cheese and gore.
Yeah, exactly. and in cheese and go, it's the best nachos I ever had. Um, but like, yeah, it's almost like the first Sharknado in a way, right? Like it's almost like it's got that
Yeah.
real. That
No, I
feel
hear
to
you.
it.
I'm surprised Sharknado wasn't like wasn't set in Australia.
Yeah, right? That was like my first thought. I was like, there is so many sharks here. Like, we deal with shark problems all the time.
Great whites up in the tornado. There we go.
That's it. And it would have, yeah, it would have had way more context. And like bad Australian accents, which would have done the movie so many favors. Like,
Yeah.
The animals in Australia.
I've been close to dangerous jellyfish. I've held a redback in my hands.
Did you on purpose?
Yeah.
Wait,
I
a
was-
what?
A redback spider.
Like
Oh.
a black widow?
Like, it's sort of like a... Is it, are they black widows?
It's sort of like
It's sort of the same thing.
across the, like, it's the same sort
One of the most
breed.
dangerous spiders in Australia, though. We had
I mean-
one in the basement in that haunted house.
I mean, I'll have to admit, the only thing I know about some of the dangerous animals from Australia are in a song by a group called the Scared Weird Little Guys.
Oh my god! I forgot about them.
I've had a funnel web in the box.
That's a good one, dude. You know more about Australia than I do.
What?
Is that those guys who used to be part of Skid House?
Yeah, I think so.
I used to
Really?
watch a lot of Just for Laughs.
Oh yeah, they do. Australians do show up on Just for Laughs. We get that here too.
Yeah.
Yeah, hosted by an Australian usually, though. I don't know what. Yeah. Anyway, that's cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
Scared
in
Weird.
Singapore as well. I was watching
Do you?
Just for Laughs in a different language,
Wow,
and they had like overdubbed it, and then
Really?
they had the English subtitles.
that's amazing.
But it was like really old episodes.
That's cool.
Well, I mean, it would
that's
definitely
global.
show up in French, like at
Yeah,
minimum.
for sure. Obviously.
I mean, it's in Quebec, so
The Frenchest of places.
Oh,
the Frenchest
God.
place this side of France.
I've found a funnel web spider in the bathtub
Is
before.
I'm not sure what's
Sorry.
wrong. No, I'm so
no,
curious.
it's
Like,
just
you both have two interesting points you're making.
what?
You both have two good points you're making, and I want
No,
to know more
really,
about both of them.
I was making the standard Canadian issue about Quebec. That's all.
Oh no, I've never heard that. That's really interesting.
Oh well, basically the view is simply that Quebec are how do I put this? A bunch of overprivileged whiners.
The Frenchest place this side of France. Oh wow.
Oh yeah, we need to put in laws in place to protect our language from not being
Right.
absorbed
English
into the
speakers.
English, and
Oh
we
my
need to
gosh.
protect our culture from the rest of the country. And
Right.
oh God,
Right. Yeah. I mean.
just okay. Just to put this out there, like this is probably boring to anyone else, but
Oh no.
they actually, when it comes to taxes,
Yeah.
like I don't know how the province system works down there or taxes in Australia, but
Hmm.
up here we do have a federal and a provincial tax, and obviously,
Right.
you know, province is set by a provincial government, right?
Yeah. Of course.
However, federal's same everywhere, obviously, and that's all collected by federal government, by an actual, you know, organization, the Canadian Revenue Service.
Yeah. Sure. Oh wow. Yeah.
Except for in Quebec.
Wait. What?
Yeah.
Really?
Quebec collects their own federal taxes and then sends it to the federal.
Okay.
To like a separate.
So they're just
Kind of.
yeah. They're just
It's like they don't. It's like they don't trust the main government to basically take it properly. So
Yeah.
it's like, okay, yeah, we'll collect it and then we'll just send it to you. Don't worry about it. Yeah.
It's been a great year.
We don't have any of that like state separation sort of thing,
Our
or territory or province separation.
Not as much as America and Canada have it, because like
I mean, there's a big detachment between Western Australia, Darwin, Tasmania. They're like
Mhm.
Yeah,
sort of
all the
separated,
capitals.
but you got Queensland, New South Wales, Victoria,
Mhm.
South Australia are all
Just
sort
like
of
the East
integrated.
Coast.
Yeah.
well,
Yeah.
yeah, and it's the difference because half of us well, not really half. It's a bit different, but like Western Australia and all that, they're territories, right? They're not technically states.
Yeah.
And our states are New South Wales, Victoria, Brisbane, and stuff. So we're like kind of in the middle of like about 3 different governments right now, I'd say.
Oh
Queensland?
jeez.
You said Brisbane.
Brisbane, you know. Brisbane's the only place I'm as in it. Yeah.
I mean, do the separate areas down there have their own stereotypes too? Like,
oh sure, like Brisbane and Queensland is our Texas. 100%.
Oh god.
Like they're up there. It's Bible Belt, gun toting, and fucking cowboys.
Okay.
And, like
So they're your Texas
like
and
Yokels.
yeah, Tasmania is full of the stereotype for them is inbreeding. Like the thing that a lot of people say about Tasmania is that they're all inbred.
Melbourne is like your hipster alternative.
Yep, that's true as well. Oh my god.
Like posh side.
I'd say Adelaide is like South Australia's capital is a bit more of it's a city of churches, so it's a bit like older, sporty, more like mainstream. Sort of
Darwin's just like there's no classification. It's just pretty much crazy.
Oh, and if you talk to anyone, they'll like anyone from around Sydney, it's been taken over by Asians. 100%.
Sydney, I reckon Sydney's sort of like a ghetto.
It seems like
Sydney's like the Bronx.
That's not true though. It's like this weird thing where we like have all these cultures in our country, and then we're like, they're taking over. Oh shit!
Remember the thing skateboarders used to play in Sydney? Was you'd skate down the street in Sydney and you'd get points for every Asian you bumped into.
What the dude?
Oh my god.
That's not okay. That's not okay.
I was like, oh, what are you guys doing?
I don't want to bump into anyone.
Wow.
I'd rather avoid them. I'd rather like avoid people so I don't know.
And then we wonder why we come out drunk and racist in our stereotype.
It's good to know it's similar down there.
Oh, for sure. Like, it is 100% like that. Like, even in our area, like, in just where we live, there's, like, between towns, there's, like, rivalry. Like, I remember we were at the after party for the formal that we had at the end of our, like, at the end of high school.
For sure was
Oh, it was
every, like, even though we're, like, a couple of Ks from each other, there was serious segregation.
Yeah, it was segregation, exactly.
Bruns boys, no one, like, spoke to those.
Brunswick's, like, 5 minutes down the road. And then, like, Byron Bay, like, so there's, like, a few towns around the area, so we're going to be saying a lot of weird names.
Byron Bay, super aggressive, like...
They are meatheads. Well, that was to do with that straight edge culture that was coming up as well. Because straight edge was like coming up and they were all like, oh, we don't do drugs, we don't do alcohol and stuff, but we get off on fighting. Yeah. Like, we beat up other straight edge gangs. Like, jeez. You guys drink more alcohol than we do. I'm gonna fucking punch you. So yeah, if you went around, if you were like drunk or like were having drinks in Byron, and you were sort of like our age, there was groups out there that were not happy to see you and stuff. So
one of our friends came back from, he said he was walking down an alley in Byron just going to go jump in his mom's car.
Oh, no. I mean, I think...
Do you remember who it was?
Not really.
I don't think I should say his name.
Okay. Well, tell me after so I remember exactly. I'll probably remember as you tell me. What happened?
He just got beat on.
Oh, yeah, right.
He came to school and he just like...
Oh, yeah.
I mean, yeah.
That's right. I do remember.
We've pretty much got the similar stereotypes. I mean, if I were to just go from West Coast to East Coast, I mean, I think we might have one or two additional ones, and that's about it. Cause
yeah, for sure.
Like far West Coast here, British Columbia, they're known for being high.
That's what our area is known for.
Yep, that's our area. This is Byron Shire.
Then Alberta, Saskatchewan, that's kind of like our Texas. Around there. Manitoba is kind of like more just farm country. And then Ontario is kind of like our metropolitan hipster New York, like that kind of place.
Yeah, that does seem good.
And then Quebec, well, French, there you go.
Yeah.
And then
the French.
And then East Coast, which is where I am, it's just like fishermen and that's about it. It's like fishermen, and supposedly because of that we're stupid.
Yeah, that whole thing. Like that's it. Like, yeah, working class being seen that way. Yeah, I get that, dude. I mean, we come from hippie land, so like everyone here is like enlightened and fucking thinks differently.
Like all the hippies of Australia congregate here to make communities.
It's like they did. And like I see drug deals in the street. Like I see fucking people selling pot like on the street. Like you'll be walking to the bank and they'll just be there. Fucking Nimbin.
Like are there I can't help. I need to ask now. I'm just curious. Are there any like weird traditions like like someone new to Australia or something.
Well, we get drunk at 15.
Well, no. What I mean is like a tourist, like a traveler. Like, is there anything you do to, like, you're now an official Australian? Like,
get drunk. Get really drunk. I literally can't even think.
I've heard stories of giant
we could
beards.
dress you up, yeah.
Get a singlet.
Get a singlet? Oh man, there you go. A singlet, maybe like a hat with some corks dangling off it.
No, you gotta say, I'm pretty sure, like, if you say mate,
yeah, mate, good day.
Add mate at the end of every sentence, that's it.
I have done that more and more as I've gotten older. That's just actually joined my vocabulary now. I'm like, oh mate. Like,
okay, go mate.
Oh god.
Have a good day, mate.
I used to hate it. Now it's just like, whatever. I mean, yeah, thongs, shrimp on the barbie is not anything to do with Australia. It's just like some shitty ad campaign.
Yeah. No one actually.
I've never
done. The majority of people don't like to eat fish.
And we call them prawns here.
Yeah, we call them prawns.
We don't call them shrimp.
I don't put any prawns on the barbie. You eat them.
Slap a prawn on the barbie.
You like boil them up, I think, then you just eat them.
No, you can,
like,
I'm sure you can barbie them.
No one does it, though.
Yeah, that's true.
Oh man.
Well,
I mean, part of the reason. Well, I mean, part of the reason I was curious is because one of the things that we have up here, like specifically for Newfoundland.
Yeah.
So tourists that come in, if they want to be considered an official Newfoundlander, there's a process they can go through called being screeched in.
Being screeched in? That sounds rough.
It's not that. It's not that rough, honestly.
Honestly, sounds rough.
It's not that rough. It's pretty simple. All it is, it involves. I can't remember if it's one shot or a couple shots of screech. That is an alcohol up here.
What is it?
It's basically a rum extract.
Okay. Sure.
Like, it's really, like, strong rum, basically.
They make you drink
supposedly,
it and
if I remember right, the story behind the name is simply along the lines of, like, first person who tried it and brought it back here after trying it, that was the sound. It involves taking a shot of screech and then kissing a codfish.
Oh, really?
What?
Get the codfish. Get the fish.
Like, I'm not saying tongue or anything, but
no, yeah, like not pashed or anything.
Yeah, it's just like you kiss the fish. There you go. You're done.
Wow. I mean, I want to do that at some point in my life now.
Australians are too lazy to like.
No, we are way too lazy.
I think the thing is, we don't want to commit to anything, so we might like one stage when we go on, which probably have like a drink. So no, that's way too much.
Just drink a beer, dude.
If you're ever in Newfoundland, ask anyone. If you're ever in Newfoundland and ask anyone about being screeched in, they'll know what you're talking about.
I'll do it.
They'll put you through it.
I'm into it. That sounds great. I love it. I love that. Like, that's just like cool initiation stuff.
It's just silly. Yeah, it's silly stuff, but you know.
Exactly. It's just like fun hazing and stuff.
Exactly.
I would love to do that.
I mean, at its base level, it's just getting drunk, but you know.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's things out there of people being like, oh, if you like drink 2 beers quickly and you did it like this. I'm sure there's like really weak stuff, but like I've never heard of anything. Typically.
Yeah.
Really?
I mean, maybe we just don't know about it.
That's it. Like, I mean, we're in this area where we're all so enlightened and not like Australians.
Yeah, little different here.
Yeah. No,
it's a bit more traditional and conservative kind of here-ish.
Yeah.
It's not conservative in the sense like. Yeah. I'm trying to think of the way to put it. Like, it's not the bad conservative, it's just conservative as in, like, well, this is the way things have kind of always been. And, you know.
Yeah, I get that.
Tradition.
I'm sure there is a really counter-conservative attitude here, I think. Like, it instantly, anything that's sort of the norm is, like, fought against a bit. You know, like a bit. And that's different for every person, though. Like, because you'll meet almost every person that I meet, like through work or whatever it is now, like the little work I can get. They seem to want to tell me how different they are from everyone. They seem to really want to emphasize how like independent and free they are. in this area, and I'm like, that's us. That's like this place. Like I've heard this since I was a baby. Like,
I can hear you there.
But they they are still conservative parents most of the time. They are still like that kind of person.
I mean, I don't see myself as really conservative in any way. I'm just kind of lazy.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I'd say I honestly have a lot in common with you too.
We gel.
Yeah. Oh God.
Most Australian. I mean, but that's Canada and Australia too. Like I've always sort of thought that Australia and Canada have very similar sort of attitudes.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, they've got a bit more of that attitude too.
It's so distant though as well, which is.
Yeah, but then we're like out of the way a bit.
Yeah.
And we're not like, I don't know.
Much to say. I mean, Australia.
Both colonial.
Yeah. But I guess New Zealand's sort of the same, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, New Zealand has the. Have you watched New Zealand Cops before?
Yeah, I've watched that.
Dude, that show is
so relaxed.
So friendly.
So happy. The Cops. New Zealand Cops.
There's a New Zealand Cops.
Yeah, if you get a chance to see it.
Motorway Patrol.
Motorway Patrol. It is amazing. New Zealand.
They're just
my God.
You've just like crashed into another car. So he just gets out with the biggest smile on his face. Just like.
Oh, what have you done? Oh well, let's get this sorted out. They like arrested an old lady. I saw they arrested an old lady for not having a license and driving around. She's like, oh, I don't have a license, but I needed to get my lunch to my granddaughter because she forgot it this morning. And like the cop was like, well, you know, we have to go through due process, and like she took her off the road and stuff, and like got her car towed and stuff. But she still took the old lady to the primary school to deliver lunch to the little girl. Like she didn't fucking just leave an old lady on Saturday.
I record all those sorts of shows. The cop shows I love.
Dude, cop shows
Oh my God. That is beautiful.
Yeah, it was really touching, and it was like, and then the cop was just like, you know, like, yeah, we chase bad guys and stuff and we do that kind of shit, but like we're still like community members and we're still like community service people, like so that was something I had to do. And I was like,
just
it's amazing.
Like last week or the week before was this guy. They had like an advert on TV.
Yeah.
Like that was like a selling point for this episode. And he gets pulled over by the cops because he's tailgating someone.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh yeah, you know, I didn't know I had to do that. And he's got a little pamphlet. The cop's like, do you want to take this with you? Like, says how far? He's like, oh no. So then the next shot is they pulled him over again, and he's smashed into like a caravan.
Oh, no.
And he's like, sorry, you're the same dude. He's like, yeah, I was tailgating. I did it again. It's just like, oh well, we did it again. Alright, well we got to give you a fine. He's like, oh okay.
This is
I head off to work. I just got my tools out the back of the truck.
What?
And then they're like, okay, we'll help you take your tools out of the truck.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
Then he walks over to the guy his car is hit. He's like, oh, I'm sorry I hit your car. He's like, oh,
don't and they like high five and walk off. Best friends.
So.
That's amazing.
Oh my God! So the general attitude is just like, well, stuff happens. Tra la la.
Yeah, they're really friendly. Really nice over there. The one that went viral that I liked, that was like what tipped me off to New Zealand Motor Patrol, is the one where they like pull this guy over who's driving with one hand and eating a pie at like 4 in the morning. And they pull him over and he's just eating this meat pie and he's like, oh yeah, I probably should be holding them down. So I was like, alright, just watch out because servo pies can be really hot. And it's 4 in the morning, so they're probably pretty fresh. So just don't bite into it too quickly. I'll let you off with a warning. And then he just let them go. He let the guy leave, and it was like fine.
And then compare that to the cop show, where there's a guy that doesn't have a bike helmet on. He's riding his bike. The cops pull him over like, hey, you don't have a bike helmet.
Yeah, we're gonna.
Like, I don't want a bike helmet. He's like, here's a fine. And then they pull him up again, like 5 minutes after while he's got his bike. They say, hey, you're still on your bike. Here's another fine.
Yeah, that's Australian cops.
Just tackle some guy. Just keep after him.
Oh, they're aggressive. And it's like they're living up to that American Cops show.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
American Cops is great. Though.
American Cops is fun because it's so like insane.
So good.
It's like, I mean, like what's it like being close to that?
I stopped watching that.
I swear that would get like kind of tense, right? Like if you like live near enough that it could be relevant to you. Like it's funny for us, I guess, because we're like far away from it.
It's still like, funny when I watched one. I watched like this one episode recently of like this guy who gets pulled over. He's like, the cop comes up to him. He's like, "You're just speeding." He's like, "Yeah, right." Yeah. Another cop car pulls in behind, and they pull out an AK-47 and shoot both the cops.
What?
His son pulls out an AK-47 and shoots both the cops. I'm like,
What?
well, this just got really intense.
What the fuck?
Holy crap. And then they drive off, and then they're in a car park as if nothing happened. And then the cop's like, well, these guys just killed 2 of our friends. And they just like,
What the fuck?
pummel into the side of the car with an SUV, the cops do.
Is this a
Smash up
movie?
their car. No, it's not. And then they just like fill the car with bullets, and it's like, what? How did it get to this?
Well, yeah, wait, I'm just trying to catch up. Like, this is on
This is on, it was
American
police video.
World's Most Dangerous Criminals or whatever?
Yeah.
Okay, that's more reasonable. So I was
Okay,
like,
yeah,
this is
that's-
just on flat cops.
No, World's Wildest Police video.
Well, yeah, that's...
Oh, well,
I do
yeah,
know
that's-
that show. That's
Yeah,
insane.
that's specifically. Yeah, that's specifically made to be sensationalist, and
Oh, of course. That's
I mean, there's a
insane,
reason
man.
it's called World's Wildest Police.
Yeah.
It was the wildest thing.
It's the wildest thing.
I don't know. I think there's a
was.
different. We use wild as like fun, whereas wild
Yeah, we
in
do.
America is more like
It's
out of
crazy.
control.
A lot. Yeah, for sure. Wild.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. You're out of control if you're wild, but here you're like a wild man.
Yeah, it's so wild. It's like hipster cool.
Yeah, that guy's wild.
Yeah.
Wild style.
Whereas if you say wild man up here, you're either thinking of someone who's really drunk or out in the woods surviving like an
Yeah.
animal.
Right. So then there's those 3 criminal, cool, normal person, and like hermit,
Mountain man.
mountain man. That's a good point too.
Oh
Hermits.
man. No, I'd say
Well,
at
it's
least,
always a good point.
yeah.
I had something to say, but I'm not gonna get into it. I'm not gonna go into that. That's a whole other story.
I'd say where I am specifically, like, it's far enough away for me to feel still okay.
Yeah.
Like,
Sure.
the States is over there. Like, I don't need to worry too much.
I could imagine, yeah, because it's like
It's more, yeah, the spots that are actually on the border are a little like, ugh.
yeah, because you can see like major. You can see parts of New York or something from across the river. Is that right?
Wait, what?
Is it like? I'm not good with my geography for this because I don't live there or
Okay.
anything. But it's in. They talk about it in and I know this documentary is super over the top and sensationalized, but like all
Right,
of Columbine.
Oh, yeah, I know it.
They talk about like the city. The cities like across from each other. Like you can see from big Canadian city X.
Well, yeah,
you can
I mean-
see big New York or something X. That
Well, yeah, I know what you mean.
yeah.
Canadian city here, American city there, and then yeah, there's
I
the
think it's
border.
just close. Yeah,
So,
my point.
yeah. But I mean, yeah, we do like the mainland does have the largest border, you know, with
Oh,
the
yeah.
United States. So
Oh,
I mean,
100%.
yeah, there's a lot that can happen, but
And they're always worried about everyone
Yeah.
coming in.
I've seen that documentary a few times. I always liked the part where he went to Canada.
Oh, I love that bit. It's such a like a nice little thing where like, yeah, these doors are unlocked and everyone's real friendly. And they've got more guns if anything. So.
Because we're a hunting nation.
Well, exactly, and like
Yeah.
and that just makes sense, and it was really sweet, and it was nice, and I mean, I know that documentary is so over the top, but like, it definitely is interesting the points they were making, and like, and going back to what we were talking about before, like violence and the influence and banning games at all and all that stuff, like, that's that 100%.
Yeah.
Remember when we talked about video games on this show, guys?
Real try.
How far
No,
we
it
have
does.
come.
Exactly. I love how it got really deep in there. So wait, we've told people how to be parents. We've told people how to be ghosts. We've told people how to be ghosts.
Wait. How to be ghost?
Yeah, like you got to be spooky. You got to
Oh,
like
okay.
basically do what Kieran's stories were saying.
We kind of told him how to deal with ghosts.
Yeah, deal with ghosts. That's it. Yell at them. and then have your roommates decide that you were yelling at nothingness. Exorcist, yeah. That seems to work. Seems to tell the truth for most people.
Occasionally.
Oh, in my granddad's house there was a ghost cat too.
Oh God.
Wait, a ghost cat.
Yeah.
So pets and ghosts together now.
It was in the same house. It was in the same house that the baby dreams were happening.
Oh my god.
But they had this cat called Puss Bottle. And it was like, they had saved it and it was really traumatized and it used to walk around meowing like non-stop.
Okay.
Like, meow, meow, and then Puss Bottle passed away, and then you still hear meow,
It's
meow,
still
meow, every now and then. It's like,
wow. Puss Bottle?
yeah.
Puss
Okay.
Bottle, really?
Yeah, Puss Bottle.
Puss
Because it
Bottle.
was taken from a family called the Bottles, and they just like, what are we gonna call it? It's called Puss
Oh,
Bottle.
Puss Bottle, right. Last name.
Okay.
I thought it was like some like
Weird
college
sex thing.
college douchebag being like, oh, I got that Puss Bottle on lock. Straight up, bro.
Okay, I need to hear the other two combination stories. I know you have to have them somewhere. So I either need to hear the story about your ghost console,
Your ghost console?
I've
or
written
your
it faster.
or your pet breaking one of your consoles.
A pet breaking a console. I feel like that has to have happened. You have to have had an animal destroy an electronics of yours.
I've had a dog. I had like all this Lego. I had my Lego thing that I was building, and a dog jumped on me, and I was walking on a veranda, and it had like the sealed sides,
Yeah.
and all my Lego fell through the crack.
Oh,
Oh,
that's sad. That's pretty close.
it's not
I
electronic,
like-
but I'll take it. Yeah.
and then I looked up, and the dog was gone.
Oh.
I can't think. I don't think I've had it.
You gotta have like your own personal like Sonic EXE or something, right?
He did. No, he did actually.
I've uploaded a creepypasta to creepypasta.
He literally did that this week.
waiting for it to get
He wrote.
approved.
Okay.
It's like,
It's a haunted console,
yeah,
isn't it?
haunted console.
Haunted
Well, there we go.
3DS. Yeah.
So you have your own story.
Yeah, it is. He does have a story. I think we haven't talked about that. That's like another show. We want to do a show where we like it's all about just writing and just about doing and like just writing stories for each other kind of thing, like little 5 to 10 minute things.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking it'll either show up on the podcast or there. It'll either show up here or there. That story, I'm hoping.
Yeah,
I mean,
So, yeah.
I've been tempted to try and write something, but
Dude,
I don't know.
get in with us, bro.
Well,
I got stuff. Like all my stories are done as well. You guys are gonna look so good next to me because my stories are just like dicks, like sex scenes and dick jokes and like
I don't know,
weird
like,
Evil Dead references. Yeah.
no, it's just I was always poor with the whole like English stuff. I was the one focused on like math and that and science.
No, I mean
I was always English. I was the opposite.
I'm English in the sense that I'm movies. Like I've always been obsessed with film and games and like and like those kind of visual mediums. I don't think I've ever really. I mean, I've definitely read a book in my life, but I've never like. I can't think of it right now and be like, oh yes, that book I read. I know stories. I know the outlines of most of those stories and stuff, but like.
Well,
and like if it's good, I'll read it, but you know,
yeah,
it's not like my first choice pastime isn't that. That's what I'll say.
Yeah. Well, I mean, most of what I've read, if it hasn't been like something that would basically be considered like something just a teenager would read, like horror stuff, like R.L. Stein and all that, right?
Dude.
Aside from a ton of those, like anything real, I would have to consider. I've read a fair bit of Stephen King, but.
Yep, sure. Well, that's like adult Goosebumps, right?
Well.
Kinda. You know what I'm saying.
Yeah, I get what you're saying. But
There's so many.
Oh man.
I listened to a Goosebumps podcast. Goosebuds, I think it's called.
Okay.
It's got guys from Continue and do you remember Chad from Polaris at all?
Sounds familiar. It sounds familiar.
He was the beardy guy that used to do daily bites on Polaris and stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Chad Chump. I don't know. Yeah, he moved on. He's at Frederator now with doing like their online marketing or something. But like, those guys and two guys from Continue do this podcast where they read Goosebumps books and then review them and stuff.
Oh, okay.
And it is the funniest thing. Like, it's such a nice way to re-engage with those stories and stuff. Like, I haven't read it from Goosebumps in so long.
I mean, when I was younger, I actually had a pretty decent collection of them.
Oh yeah, well, like my parents, they ran secondhand. They still do run a secondhand bookstore markets and stuff. So like, so yeah, like I had a lot of Goosebumps and a lot of Garfield and a lot of like, I still have my Garfields. Like I have like this like, I have about 60 Garfield books or something.
There's like new Goosebumps now that's come out. It's
so
called
bad.
Goosebump Horror House.
It's so bad.
Are those the choose your own adventure ones?
No, these Goosebump
there are
Horror
some,
House.
but not. Yeah.
Just like a new series.
It's Goosebump 2000.
They're really weird books. They're like really marketable towards little kids. It'll have the story, the Goosebump story that's on the front cover, but then it'll have half of the next story cut off.
What?
And then you got to buy them in sequence. So you'll have half of a story in front, a full story, half of another story. So you've got to buy that book. Then you get the next half of the other story, and then a new story, and the half of another story that will be filled in the next book.
So
so weird.
Okay.
So it's sort of like this thing that he's trying to do, where he's trying to sell all of them, so that you can't just buy it. You can buy one.
I mean, you want
you'll
to
have like references to these other ones that we're trying to place in.
Yeah. That's interesting. I mean, yeah, it's marketable for sure.
Well, I mean, No, I was gonna say the weirdest thing I can think of I've seen with any kind of book was geez, I don't know if it's done that often. There was one I remember. I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but it was basically it was a story from two different perspectives, and the way they set it up was it had two covers, like on the front and back.
I've seen a couple.
Except the other's one was upside down.
Yeah.
So you'd read the first perspective, flip the book over, and then read the other perspective.
And that's crazy too. Yeah.
And there was like a middle section that combined them.
They're still kicking around as well.
That's a good idea. I like
they're
that.
still kicking around.
It's because just the physical act, not just saying go to the next place and that's where the rest of the story is, but actually having to physically alter what you're holding and stuff and flip the book over. It's so intuitive to that
There's a
kind
whole
of story.
series called The 39 Clues, which is a
39 Steps.
39 Clues.
Okay, I thought it was.
And the book comes with these cards.
That's the Flaming Monocle game he's playing.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking of.
You
Flaming Monocle.
Open this up, and then you've got all these cards, and then you've got a website, and you read this book, 39 books, and there's all these bunch of cards, and you've got to figure out the mystery.
Okay, wow. That's that's cool because it's
then it's a lot of
interactive.
The books, 39 books, you've got to buy for $20 each.
I guess that's very true, and that's where video games sort of do that better, right? That's the position of video games, is to be the interactive medium. I like interactive books. I like Choose Your Own Adventures. That Destiny, Divinity: Original Sin is like that. It's so nice and so good at doing that. Being that Choose Your Own Adventure, because you actually clash with your people in your party, and the people, and so you make a decision, and the people in your party will be like, "Hey, that decision sucks. Fuck you," and then you're like, well, actually, and then you have to have a rock, scissors, paper off to see who gets to make the decision. So you still might not end up with the decision you made in the story because your party member lucked out or something. So it's this really cool duality in the conversational mechanics, and I like it a lot.
No, I hear you.
I'll talk about it more when I play it. I'm sure. Oh God, outro. Oh, it's been so long.
Oh, jeez.
I guess we should. You said to me at the start of this you had to leave. When?
How long ago?
10 minutes ago.
70 minutes ago. Awkward. I'm gonna write outro at Orkstown.
It doesn't matter. It's fine. It's good chats.
It matters to me, Karen, because I always feel bad.
Outro Orkstown.
Oh. And there's I have so many people in my life right now that make plans with me and then say they have to do something at this time, and then it just trails off. And I'm not sure if it's I know it's because I'm so handsome and cool, but no, it's just I think it's.
Oh yeah, no one can deny that.
Dzaran. God damn you guys. So fucking unctuous.
This really was the Orkstown.
This did get awkward really quick.
In the comments, you're such a suck up.
Yeah, that's it. You guys. Just because, come on.
I don't know why.
It did get really hot all of a sudden. I was just noticing that. I was like, I'm sweating, Brad.
I had a feeling of sweat on my arm.
Yeah.
That's normally happening.
That's it. That's exactly. I was gonna wait till we got off air, but yeah, it is sweaty. We're very sweaty. Yeah. Anyway, awkwardness aside.
Yep.
How handsome and cool I am aside.
What attack is this?
Flame wheel.
Yeah, you got it.
Did I? What attack is this?
Headbutt.
Yeah.
Sand headbutt.
Aqua Jet?
Aqua Jet. It should be.
Definitely.
We're not. Who's this Pokemon? Anyway, yeah. Look, at awkward aside, the diamond-voiced Dzaran. Thank you so much for joining. Dude, you really, thank you. Yeah, no, definitely. This has been great. It's just so easy. Yeah, it was so natural. Thank you. I really appreciate you coming in. I will be putting the Dzaran's channel link below this video as soon as I'm done here, so you can go find him there. Yeah, thank you so much for joining us for this chat. It was really good.
No problem, man. I'm glad to. Like I said, anytime.
No, yeah, dude, thank you. And for sure, we should play some Hearthstone or something soon. I got to get in the new expansion. Well, anyway, that's.
Oh yeah. That was honestly a bit of a pain today. Oh.
Yeah, what was I came in a bit late anyway.
Well, yeah, what happened was today's the day it was supposed to come out. The expansion. So starting at it was around noon-ish my time, I started streaming and I was like, okay, I'll just do this. Went into Arena, did a couple of Arena runs, the cards are still available in Arena but no packs or anything. So I was like, okay, they're still doing something.
Yeah,
so basically around the middle of the day, it went down, servers went down for maintenance.
Yeah.
And that was them, getting the packs in.
Yeah.
And I figured I remembered I was going to be a part of this, so I figured it was oh, okay, well, they say it's going to be down for maybe an hour. It's oh, okay, well, I can wait the hour, and then I still can stream a little bit with the new cards, and then I can still get to you guys. And then it was an hour turned into, oh, no problem. Then it was an hour turned into 2 hours. It's oh, okay, well, I still have an hour and a half after that, 3 hours. It's
wow.
What's happening?
Yeah, that's so weird, right?
Yeah, they finally got it working a half hour, oh geez, it was 5 p.m. here, and usually you guys are starting 5:30 my time.
Okay, cool.
So
that's 8:30
it was just it was just what the hell?
Yeah, why does it take so long?
Well, the funny thing is, the only reason I managed to even get there the second it worked was because Total Biscuit started doing a stream as well for the new cards.
Of course.
And he had he was just doing a discussion thing until the maintenance was finished.
Yeah. Yeah.
So the second he was able to get into it, it was okay, I can get in.
Okay, I'm here, yeah. Right. That's awesome. I really have been getting into Total Biscuit a lot lately, actually. Oh yeah, let's go for it.
Oh, no, I was going to say, the only other thing I'd recommend, especially where Kieran wrote a story and everything.
Yeah.
Part of the reason I wanted to even try and write something is because I've been listening to a number of channels that actually read creepypastas.
Yeah,
They do the readings.
Have you gone to Bendigo's channel? Bendigo.
Bendigo.
No, but I'll be looking it up.
He does some of those creepypasta readings.
We can probably send it to
he was adding sound effects and
he was doing a really good production of
sort of thing.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I know. I saw one of those, and I thought it was really cool. And that, that's the same ththing. I watch fantasy fiction with Josh and Dom from Fucking Continue, and they write a fantasy story every week, and that's sort of what inspired me for sure. Just to be
okay.
This is awesome. This is so cool. Well, it used to be every week, and now it's every week, and because it's been the holidays, it's every other week. It's a really good show.
I'd never really read any of them before, and then I just stumbled upon someone doing a reading, and I was why not? Yeah, and I was oh my god, these are pretty cool.
They're better when they're read to you almost. I really feel it's really cool, and then that makes me want to read them to people as well.
Yeah,
except when I first
sorry, go ahead.
Yeah,
that was I don't know, the fact, when I first stumbled across that, I think the way that was written with the videos involved, you kind of had to read that yourself.
Yeah, sure. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I guess that's true. He does a really good job of pulling it up though, and making it more than just a story.
Making it interactive sort of thing.
Yeah, Exactly.
Yeah, I agree.
He does a
Like,
good
it's
job.
really good just listening. I love audio stories. And all
Yeah,
that stuff.
exactly.
Well, yeah.
You do. Yeah. Anyway, so that's definitely a cool thing that we want to start doing. And look, if you're interested, I'm sure we would love to have some guests on a show about stories. That'd be amazing.
Well, if I can ever get one written.
Putting it on like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Here, that's realness. Yeah. Okay. Do you want to do the reveal now?
Yeah. So we're probably gonna make another channel.
Oh,
It's
okay.
just gonna be all like just production sort of stuff. So.
Yeah, all
not
produced
game-
stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
Not Let's Plays, but like written work, machinimas, stories, reviews we've talked about, and because we've been talking about how to get that stuff on Retroverse for a long time. Like that's been like this year has been us trying to work out how to properly get written content and more produced content onto Retroverse, but it never felt right.
Yeah, I think we got Retroverse has to stay as just like the channel for gaming.
And it's not
chatting.
just us either as well. It's like there's
communicating
other
with
people in it, so it's like hard
Or
for us
like
to...
a social channel sort of thing.
Yeah, it's exactly. It's more of like a personality thing. And then we'll have this other one where we don't swear all the time, and we don't miss things, and we don't... Yeah, and that's so yeah, we're thinking about hosting that show there. If you made it to the end of the podcast and you're interested, then that you got to hear the reveal, the official reveal, that we're thinking about starting another channel. Now we do have branding and stuff for it.
Yeah, we got some
Okay.
ideas.
We do have
The second it's up and running, let me know.
Oh, I will.
Yeah.
I'll be posting it around for sure.
I will be
Probably get some
subscribing on that
content ready
immediately.
for it straight away.
We want to have content ready before we get there, and then we want to like send it. We want to include the community because we think it's like a really good outlet as well. Because like there's no reason it doesn't fit into the community we have, I guess, for sure.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's just us again. So it's like, and I think it'd be really cool to be able to do collaborative reviews, to do collaborative storytelling, stuff like that, because it's something that we can do from across this ocean, right? Like something we can do from Australia is to like record scripts with people and like do that collaborative work. So that's like that is really something's exciting for us because it's so hard for us to collaborate with people. It's like really sad sometimes. Anyway, yeah. So yeah.
I will definitely be subscribing. You better believe it.
Oh, I thank you.
Thanks, Dzaran.
Sponsored by Dzaran. Hashtag sponsored by Dzaran. I feel so weird about that joke because I know you now. Like I know you better now. It's like originally it was just like a throwaway thing, but now like it's true. It's real.
Well, you better believe it. If I ever win the lottery, if I ever win the lottery, sorry.
Well, if both of us, we'll make a pact.
We're sponsoring channels, damn it.
That's it. Oh, but definitely. That would be amazing. I would love to give channel. I mean, yeah. Anyway, that's the dream.
Yeah.
Okay, so keynotes. Thank you, Dzaran. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Karen. Thank you, Avi. And it's been a long one, but it's been really fun.
Yeah.
This has been one of my favorites we've ever done, actually, for sure. It's been such a nice discussion, and we got deep. Thanks for joining us. I don't think anyone made it all the way through, but the people that were coming in and dropping off, and all of the chat that we didn't get to see. Thank you. Cool.
We'll get the chat worked out.
I hate it. I don't want to look at it ever again. Like I click the button, I click the allow chat button. You know, what else do you do, man?
Yeah.
Anyway, I mean that was like our idea though of moving to Twitch an hour into the podcast, if it feels right to do so. Blah blah blah. Then we get chat up. Stuff like that.
When we did the podcast on Twitch, then we had
that was too real.
Yeah.
We were so distracted.
It was just so much happening.
It was hot, and we were playing video games.
And the transfer from that to YouTube didn't work too well.
Because there was that 10-minute clip from the end. Yeah, there was a million problems.
Yeah.
We're working our way around it. It's going to be fine.
Alright, so let's close it off there.
Yeah, I think so. Cool.
Thanks, Dzaran. Thanks again.
No problem. It's been a pleasure, guys.
No, for real, it has been. Thanks so much. Feel free to subscribe. Go check out Dzaran's channel. Go check out all of our stuff. Go check out hashtag WUG, like WUG. I used it once already on Twitter. It was good. That's the community hashtag, apparently, elected by the community.
WUG.
Hashtag WUG. All cat WUG.
Oh, okay.
Watch this game.
Yeah.
Watch this game. WUG, yeah.
Triple UG.
Triple UG. No, you're confusing people. Go check that out. That's where everyone's content is. So, shout outs to WUG. I just want to throw that in.
For sure.
Because it's cool. It's been a really nice, warm place. I've met Australians on there, and I never thought I'd meet Australians from the internet ever again. So, that's real. I'm not sure if this is going to cut us off when I stop broadcast, Dzaran, so if it does, I'll talk to you later, I guess.
No problem, man.
Let you go because it's getting late.
It's not too bad, but yeah.
Yeah, no worries. Cool. Thank you so much.
See you guys.
Yeah,
Have a lovely week, everybody, and be nice to each other, like a New Zealand cop would. See ya.
Bye.